It's time for Sports Time on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. The first hour of Sports Time is brought to you by Lexus of Memphis. Here are your hosts, Brett Stats Norsworthy and Bryant Dacus.
Welcome into Sports Time. Bryant and Brett with you. We Alwyn Seabury here training as well. We're Sports Time. We're with you for the next 3 hours. And like I said, our guy Brett is back. Took a couple days off, but he's back with us. And we got to talk about his weekend. A trip up to St. Louis. Got some wins out of the Cardinals that have been kind of hard to come by. I mean, hey, you might be the lucky charm. We might have to send you every weekend up to St. Louis when they're at home.
Real fan had to go up and get them figured out.
That's right. You did it, so we're going to have to talk about that. A lot to get into, so it should be a really, really fun show. But Brett, how are you doing? How was your weekend?
Doing well. It was great, Bryant. Miss y'all, congratulations to you. You know, when I get back after days off, I like to just pick up wherever we are today.
Sure.
I don't like to do a lot of rehashing. But congratulations to you on your PGA pick and win. And we all tried to tell you how much Xander Schauffele would disappoint you.
I was close. I got nervous.
Wobbly, but you got the W, and he got that off of him. And now the 2 gold medal winners from 2016, Justin Rose, major champion winner. Yeah. He had his major before he won his gold medal. And now Xander Schauffele from the 2020 Olympics that felt like they just ended about 10 minutes ago. It took so long to start and complete them. He finally he gets his. So that's a lot of cachet for a really great player. And we think, all indications are, that we'll have the first 2 major winners of the year in Scotty Scheffler and Xander Schauffele here in Memphis for the FedEx St. Jude Championship.
Yeah, and you feel really good about that, and I think that's great. I know a lot of people have been talking. You kind of want to cheer for those PGA guys because you know they'll be more likely to be here. Obviously, the LIV guys, no chance of them being here in Memphis. So I love seeing Xander win. Like you said, it got a little nervous late. We talked about it yesterday. I had some meetings or some errands to run yesterday or Sunday, whenever it was, and I mean, could not take my eyes off of it. I had to have my phone with me at all times, just checking in, keeping an eye on what was happening because, man, it did get a little scary. But he was able to pull it out late, and, a win's a win, so we're happy with it.
I was keeping an eye on it all day Sunday afternoon and had a lot of fun in St. Louis, and the Cardinals playing a lot better.
Yeah.
Probably arguably the best stretch they've been in all year. If they can win tonight against Baltimore or tomorrow to win 2 out of 3 against Baltimore, then you can feel a little bit better about maybe something coming together in a year they're having. Just what a difference a little bit of hitting has done.
No, absolutely.
It's made it a lot easier.
Sure has, and I think we kind of knew that was the case. The team just couldn't hit the ball. I mean, I remember coming in here a couple weeks ago and saying, look, pitching is certainly not as much of an issue as it was last year. It felt like last year, every time we come in here, we would go, well, man, this team can hit the ball. It's just the pitching lets them down. They're giving up 7-8 runs before you can even, get to the middle of the lineup. But this year, it's kind of the other way around. Pitching has been fine so far. It's really been the bats, and so you're starting to see them come along, and they're starting to hit the ball, and that definitely makes a difference. Last night, Sonny Gray was great against against Baltimore, and so I think you wanted that. And what did we get through? Almost 6 innings.
Sonny Gray was good last night, but
he was good.
Take hit empty, and he knew it.
Sure, certainly. Down the stretch.
At first, when he signaled to the dugout, I thought injury.
I did too. But, early, kind of getting that start looked really good. And like you said, it was good throughout his start. But, that's what you want to see from these guys. And with the bats coming together a little bit, they're looking like a much better team.
And Sunday afternoon in the NBA, that was one more Sunday. I don't know who thought either roadie would win, and for both to go in and get a Game 7, that's just classic stuff.
Well, and the way that the Pacers did it, I think, was the big thing, because I think you could say, if someone had walked up to me and said, hey, man, Pacers are going to win the game today in New York City, I would have said, okay, sure, I get it. Knicks, it's been a good series. Knicks banged up. Yeah, would not shock me if the Pacers win that game. But for them to go in there and just, not even be a game, shooting like 65% from the field, over 50% from three, the style that they did it was something that we haven't seen. We've seen the Pacers blow out the Knicks in this series, but it was at home. We haven't seen a blowout up until that point in Madison Square Garden this playoffs, and so it was big time.
So my question to you, my question to Lee Odwin, my question to our great listeners, we want you to weigh in at 901-360-8255 at the Sissy's Log Cabin text line. Was Draymond Green right? Were the Knicks lucky to be where they were? Are we big enough to admit when Draymond Green's right?
You know what?
In his analysis, in his commentary.
I am. I
want to be.
I don't know.
Lee Odwin, show hands.
I think
Draymond right?
Brett, I think you have to be able to watch him first to be able to agree with him, because you won't know what he's saying.
Well, you hear everything he says.
That's true. Everything gets out there for sure.
Whether you watch or not.
Here's the thing. I think you can make an argument.
He was a little bit right.
He was, but Brett, stick with me here. I think you can make an argument that the Pacers have been lucky to get this far in the playoffs. You get the Bucks first round.
All right, I hear the Celtics are lucky, though.
Well, everybody might be lucky, Brett. Good Lord.
Let me tell you who wasn't lucky this weekend.
Who's that?
Did you see the woman that won $2.5 million on a slot machine in Atlantic City?
Oh, Brett, you sent me this story, didn't you?
I did. And they won't pay.
They won't. And
machine malfunction.
I love the headline. It says,
which is a load of
hooey. Let me see if I can find the headline, because I love the what the headline said. Let's see if I can find it.
That's very unlucky.
Here it is. Anxious gambler.
Anxious? I'll show you anxious. I want my cash.
I think all bettors are anxious. You tell me that you don't bet something and then you go sit down and start watching the game, or they get the cards out and you don't get a little anxious. I think all bettors are anxious, Brett.
No, $2.5 million and they're not going to pay her.
That's crazy. That's a bad
machine
weekend.
malfunction.
I feel like that's
and her
terrible
quote
excuse.
Then why do we ever play?
Sure, that's a great point. That's not the first time I've heard machine malfunction. Well, the story for a different day, Brett. Yeah. But no, it just seems like a quick excuse.
What do we pay for?
Exactly. Because here's the thing.
You could claim that every single time one
exactly, because what any regular person that's going into any casino is going to know the ins and outs of these machines and really know if there's an issue or not.
Right. Mine was for $1,666.
Not that we're remembering it or anything.
Well, I don't forget.
No, you don't forget anything.
Okay, so 2.5 and 1666. Well, anything in between that, machine malfunction, sorry.
Exactly.
What the heck?
Bad weekend. That's really bad weekend.
That's really bad. That's really bad form, too.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Just say, we're not going to let you win. The odds are stacked so heavily against you to begin with. And just any semblance of straight-up world.
Uh-huh.
And then when you do get us, You don't get us.
We're not gonna. We're gonna still win because we can say machines messed up.
Here's the thing: nobody's making you go.
Mm-hmm. That's right.
With that, on the nobody's making you go front, today, this week, could potentially be the biggest week ever in college sports.
Sure could.
With the almost $8 billion settlement that they're going to come up with. Y'all already seen today.
Sure. The
Big 12 unanimously, and all the other Power 5, Power 4 conferences will all vote unanimously.
Uh-huh.
It may not be 16-zip in the SEC room before they go out to the press conference and have the press release, but Greg Sankey's going to whip those votes, and he's going to say it was unanimous.
Absolutely.
There's just never any consternation or division on those votes on anything.
Mm-hmm.
On hosting whatever postseason tournament you want to have at the site.
Right.
They just have it's all in agreement. And we're going to get that this week, and we're going to have a lot of back and forth because remember, and I'm so far the current makeup of college sports, the players getting paid. I've been consistent with that.
Sure.
They should, And I don't think there need to be a lot of guardrails, because what part of liberation and freedom do you not see with guardrails? But the original complaint for this lawsuit was, we deserve some of you profited off the backs of us, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
That was the complainants. You profited off the backs of us. Now everybody in the building is going to get a check. I will use baseball.
Okay.
So to not make anybody mad about any other non-revenue producing sport, I'll use baseball. At a lot of places, football and basketball don't profit in a real, and I'm not talking about fancy bookkeeping world, a lot of places don't make a real profit just off that sport. So let's say in a baseball world, let's say in the SEC of the current 14, I would say at least half, maybe 8 or 9, scratch out a real profit. And a real profit in a real world is you make more than you spend.
Sure.
That's very basic, isn't it? So for all those other sports, we didn't profit off you. We lost money having your sport.
Yep.
Why do you think you deserve anything?
Yeah. It's a good point.
And out of that, okay, well, let's take out room, books, tuition, air conditioning, heating. And now, any injury incurred, of course, they should be on the hook for that. But the basic eye examination, basic dental work examination, we want our refund from that. No prayer the colleges can even try to do this, because they are, right now, the piñata.
Yep.
And it's a lot of money, but a lot of people are going to get paid. We didn't profit anything off of you.
Right.
You're lucky we had your sport.
Well, that's a very good point.
And baseball is that a lot of places.
Yes.
In the SEC, I wouldn't say nobody in men's basketball or football would have that because of the TV contracts. Sure. But the TV contracts, they're kind of paying that big lump to the SEC really to get football. That's what the real contract is for. But they're gonna pay out this week, and we're gonna have really a new dealing of the cards in all the college sports.
No, you're absolutely right, and you already mentioned it. The Big 12, we've seen them come out and say that they voted unanimously. Good Lord, I can't say the word. But I'm sure we'll see all the other conferences do the same probably pretty soon.
As the day wears on.
Oh, absolutely.
All the votes will come out. The lawsuits will not end. And right now, a lot of the attorneys, a lot of the people pushing this, they know that we can keep suing, and every time there's a big settlement, it's always pro-player, because it gets down to class warfare. Now you're seeing the case with Jaden Rashada. Never mind, he did go to Arizona State and play last year.
Sure did.
Most people don't even realize that he did go and play, and Florida didn't sign any binding contracts with him. Right. All of this is not far removed from the old days of the offer being made on the back of a cocktail napkin.
You're absolutely right.
I know of a college basketball recruiter recruiting Daryl Griffith at Louisville.
Yeah.
And they met at an outdoor cafe, bistro, in Louisville, and they're having a conversation completely removed from anything about basketball. It was, world affairs, whatever the conversation they're having. And he wrote on a cocktail napkin 10K to Daryl Griffith. Daryl Griffith shook his head no during the conversation. They continued conversation. 10, 15 more minutes go by. He writes down 20K. Daryl Griffith shook his head no. They continue the conversation, and he was told 50 is your max offer. And he knew it was no need messing around anymore. He wrote down 50K, and Daryl Griffith shook his head yes and played and won a national championship for Louisville. There's no contract with that.
Right.
There's no legally binding subcodicil anything there. No more than Rashada had with Florida.
Right. It's incredible. I mean, Brett,
but he's going to win.
Yeah, he sure is. But Brett, think about this. I mean, for better or for worse, the differences of college athletics from today and 5 years ago, 10 years ago. Imagine telling somebody, hopping into our beam machine and beaming back 5 years, just 5 years, 3 years, 4 years, and telling somebody on May 21st, 2024, the two biggest headlines in the college sports world will be the NCAA settlement and lawsuits and Jaden Rashada suing Florida and their head coach and their collective and for money that he was promised and never got.
And that's just to stem it from getting bigger.
Yeah.
I mean, it's settled today for 2.8.
Right.
Because a year from now, it's going to be a lot bigger
absolutely.
than that. I use baseball. I will go to football.
Sure.
Let's say the deep snapper on a 4-7 team in 1995. Well, how much did we profit off of you?
Right. Like where does this begin and where does it stop?
And I come full circle about the same sentiment about going to the casino. Nobody's making you go to the casino.
That's a good point.
And nobody made you hike over and hike that ball back through your legs. And you got a college education out of it. You got fed great. You lived in a better dorm than the general population lived in. And at the end of it, you had no student debt.
Right.
If you applied yourself whatsoever, halfway decent person, you got some job coming out.
Sure. Oh, yeah, absolutely.
And that's if you're the backup deep snapper.
That's right.
If you're the starting middle linebacker on a 8-4 team that went to the Holiday Bowl, how much did they really profit off of you? I'm a little tired of the players from yesteryear thinking I'm owed.
Right. But you knew this was going to happen. I mean, the minute that NIL started to become a thing, you knew that all players that played and quote-unquote couldn't get money were going to start coming out and saying, well, where's my NIL? Why are they getting NIL and I didn't?
And you could have left at any time.
Sure.
Nobody was making you stay there.
Right. No, it's crazy. I mean, that is a wild story in college football. And like you said, we'll see later today what other conferences, I'm sure all of them, but when and how they come out and say that they've all pretty much voted unanimously.
And this is not the end of it. We are in our Family Leisure Studios where family and fun come together. Factory direct pricing on swimming pools, spas, and patio furniture. It's patio season. It's summertime. Come by Family Leisure and check out the new 2024 patio furniture sets. Pool season, it's here. Buy now and get in line for your pool installation and get all the preseason pricing for pool season. For the summer of 2024, save $1,000 to $5,000 on all spas and swim spas. Also, special pricing on all in-stock saunas, theater seating, pool tables, and outdoor kitchens. Family Leisure, 2120 Whitten Road, just north of I-40.
Well, let me set up today's show before we get to top and not top story of the day. Plenty to get into. 3:30, we're going to talk the NBA Conference Finals. We'll also make our Conference Finals picks for both of those series. We'll talk a lot of basketball in that segment. 3:45, more basketball talk as it's
and rankings at that time, ranking the 4 coaches, the 4 teams, and the top 4 players.
Oh, okay. Interesting. I didn't know we were doing that. That's news to me.
Doug Gottlieb inspired me.
Wow. Okay, so I'll have to be doing some work over these.
Just 4.
Just 4.
Lee Odwin, get ready.
Yeah, get ready, Lee Odwin. We need yours as well. So we'll do that at 3:45. We'll also have to make hockey picks at the end of that segment.
My Florida Panthers.
That's right. That's right. But your Canucks, Brett.
Never was a Canuck fan. What are you talking about?
I knew I should have told Johnny to clip that tape.
Can't stand those bombs.
Knew it.
Never pull far.
What a crazy game, though, last night for between the Oilers and the Canucks. Well, we'll make some hockey picks at the end of the 3:45 segment. Your Panthers, of course, against the Rangers. 4 o'clock, Brent Beard from First Coast News in Jacksonville. He'll join us, talk some college football. I mean, so much college football to talk about with Brent. We'll do that at 4 o'clock. 4:30, we'll talk some baseball. 4:45, we'll get to big number of the day. 5 o'clock, Bo Marchant. He'll join us to talk the NFL. And I realized probably about 2:30 or so that we have not talked to Bo since the quote-unquote official schedules were released. We talked to him that Tuesday, but they were actually released Wednesday. So we'll have to get his thoughts on schedules and all of that stuff. We'll talk a lot of NFL with Bo. 5:30, we'll get to what's trending. And at 5:45, wrap up today's show like we always do with Taco Bell Crunch Time.
He's Brian. I'm Brett, and Lee Aldwin Seabury with us as well. And we're with you until 6 o'clock. We want you to be a big part of our show at 901-360-8255. Text, talk, and all our guests will appear at 901-360-8255. That's sponsored by our great friends at Sissy's Log Cabin, and they will be with us at SEC Media Days, and again with us at the golf tournament, and with us through the fall, and with us at the text, talk, and guest line at 901-360-8255. This hour of our show brought to you every day by Lexus of Memphis at 2600 Ridgeway, and online at lexusofmemphis.com. Great offers on all 2024 models and always special leasing options. Drive in luxury and confidence knowing that every new Lexus comes with complimentary first and second maintenance services. And I was by there today. You ought to see that operation for oil changes and anything in that department. It is an efficient bunch. Call them at 901-334-9673, but better yet, stop by and see them at Lexus of Memphis, the one and only Lexus dealership in town, at 2600 Ridgeway, and put yourself in the driver's seat of the all-new 2024 flagship LS500. You'll be driving in style. When you purchase a Lexus, you get top-of-the-line engineering and design, and they make for the luxury driving experience. Online at lexusofmemphis.com. Experience amazing at Lexus of Memphis.
Top story of the day.
Well, my top story of the day, it's got to be the NBA.
You hear our bells right now?
Uh-huh.
Have you seen the tributes on NFL Network to Jim Otto?
I haven't seen them, but I know they've been doing them.
And this is the Raiders theme music to, what is an October, autumn, Lee Aldwin, you're a Raiders fan. What is the...
For the Raiders,
like
October, autumn, something like that.
What's their theme song?
What's the theme song called?
The bells come from that. This comes from that.
Interesting. I didn't know that. Well, good to know. I mean, I had somebody ask me like a year ago, like, what are those? What's that noise from in your background? I was like, I don't really know. I just know we play it. But my top story's got to be the conference finals. They're set. Talked about it a lot yesterday, but they start tonight. Pacers and Celtics right now. Celtics a 10.5-point favorite at home, 7 p.m. on ESPN. I'm really hoping that the Pacers can make this a competitive series for the Celtics, because I'd like for the Celtics to be a little battle-tested before the NBA Finals. I don't think the Pacers are going to win this series by any means, but I would like the Pacers to be tested a little bit. I think everyone wants to sound the alarms and everything and say the season's over for Boston when they lose one game. It seems like one game per series, and then they get kicked back into gear, and they're fine. I wouldn't mind seeing the Pacers take them to 6 or 7 games and make them have to work for it before they go to see either Dallas or Minnesota. But it should be a fun game night. But for the Pacers, I don't know what to expect. I mean, you look, that first series, they beat the Bucks without Dame and Giannis. Last series, they beat the Knicks that were limited. It felt like half their team was injured. Now they'll see the Boston Celtics. Everybody's lucky, Brett. And the Boston Celtics have been playing great basketball all year. Still crazy. Only 18 losses on the season.
Lucky.
Exactly. Very lucky they are. And then tomorrow night, we'll get the start of the Western Conference Finals, Mavericks and Timberwolves. I cannot wait for this series to start. I've had so much fun watching both the Mavericks and the Timberwolves. Now to see them go head-to-head for a trip to the NBA Finals, it should be a lot of fun.
Indiana, if they just get one on the famed parquet, that's all they're playing for, right?
Oh, absolutely. 100%.
You know the last time they lost at home?
I don't know.
March 18th.
You're kidding.
March 18th.
Wow.
My top story, Eastern Conference Finals begin tonight on that famed parquet in Boston, the floor that is as much a symbol of a winner as Yankee pinstripes and that famed red Alabama helmet. Everyone expected the Celtics to be here in the preseason. All the preseason predictions had the Celtics at least in the Eastern Conference Finals. Here they are with Joe Mazzulla. I think pressure on Joe Mazzulla because he got a ready-made team. It was really Ime Udoka's team. We all know what happened. And now here he is. He needs to win this. This is theirs to win in a town that the 21st century of sports has been Boston.
Yeah.
Patriots, Celtics, even the Bruins. The Celtics only had one of those. Only one championship parade in all the parades of the 21st century for that great sports town. They play a former Celtic in Rick Carlisle, champion with the Celtics in 1986, champion coach with Dallas. Rick Carlisle versus Joe Mazzulla. The only advantage the Pacers appear to have, I think they've got a better coach.
Not top story of the day.
You're right about that. They certainly have the better coach of this series, but I don't know after that. My not top story, it's got to be, Brett, you know I love baseball. All things baseball, whether it's the majors, the minors, high school baseball, or even college baseball. And today starts the conference tournaments around the country as we build up for next week, the start of the NCAA tournament.
I was in your room, and East Carolina was about to be defeated.
That's right. Yeah, bottom of the eighth, down 4-1, I think. Yeah, I was watching it. And then they storm all the way back and end up winning 12-4, Brett. One of the most incredible innings I've seen in a really long time.
Please tell me you had the over.
I did not bet on that game, thankfully. But it was just, I mean, there were some errors in there, but it was some, really good hitting for East Carolina that led to that lead in that victory. In the SEC, it's been really the road teams that are finding success early in this one. LSU gets a 9-1 victory. Sure, right. Yeah, yes, you're right, absolutely. The lesser-seeded teams, the teams batting first, are getting the best of them right now. LSU, a 9-1 victory over Georgia to start the day. I don't think Georgia really felt like they were playing for much.
No, they're not. It's set. They're going to host in Athens
exactly.
next week.
South Carolina, though, on top of Alabama right now, 7-5. That game currently in the 6th inning. And then later today, going to be interesting. 2 more games in Hoover. Florida and Vanderbilt, which should be a really fun game. And then the late night game, Ole Miss and Mississippi State. Oh, what could get better? The SEC tournament, starting with a matchup between Ole Miss and Mississippi State. And Brett, you know what they always say.
Egg bowl on the diamond.
That's right. I mean,
Hoover.
what's better? In Hoover. I mean, it's great. We're going to have complete coverage of that game later tonight. Right now, set for an 8 o'clock
single elimination
tonight. Yeah, single elimination. They win tonight, goes to double elimination. We'll have coverage starting tonight, 7:30 for that game. 8 o'clock start, still probably up in the air. You never know what happens in Hoover.
It's very up in the air. Next year, the whole tournament will be single elimination.
Really?
All 16 teams invited, top 8 teams with a bye.
Wow, interesting.
But single elimination all the way through next year. My not top story, Western Conference starts tomorrow night in the Twin Cities. The potential is it's real for an all-ABA finals with the Pacers from the East. And yes, Minnesota, not the Timberwolves, but the old Minnesota Muskies, not the Ed Muskies, but the Minnesota Muskies. 1 year in the old ABA, they eventually became the Miami Floridians, and I always said they named that team, in about 30 seconds we'll name the team contest?
Yeah.
The Miami Floridians, right up there with the Honolulu Hawaiians of the old WFL. Didn't spend a lot of time on trying to come up with a name. Original ABA team for the Pacers way back in 1967, 2-time champs. And they were one of the real good teams of that ubiquitous red, white, and blue basketball league.
I'm excited for these conference finals.
I am too.
I think both sides are going to be fun to watch. But that'll do it for top and not top story of the day. Let's go ahead and get to our first break. When we come back, we're talking more NBA playoffs. We've also got to make our picks for the conference titles, or conference finals, I should say. We'll do that next on Sports Time.
Be sure to follow us at Sports56 WHBQ on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube to watch live video of our shows, stay up to date with station events, and have chances to win prizes. Don't miss out on anything that's going on. Follow us at Sports56 WHBQ.
There are many real estate companies out there, but then there's Banyan Tree Realtors on the Collierville Town Square. There are hands-on, family-owned boutique real estate companies whose agents have been offering exceptional attention to their clients for over 40 years. In an ever-changing world, Banyan Tree continues to maintain a small-town personal charm while providing a worldwide connection through its internet marketing presence. Personal service will never go out of style at Banyan Tree Realtors. Their agents are people you can trust, offering service you deserve. From residential homes to commercial properties, farmland, land lots, and historical houses, Banyan Tree has the expertise you can rely on. So if you're downsizing, upsizing, moving in, or moving on, give Banyan Tree Realtors a call today. Craig Smith and Mary Jean Smith and their agents are ready to serve you. Call today at 901-620-8920 or 901-359-2520.
Are you looking for a better way to sell farm, construction, or fleet equipment? Purple Wave Auction takes the hassle out of selling heavy equipment. Our experienced auction professionals make the entire process easy, and we'll market each asset not just to our enormous equipment buying community, but specifically to the right bidders who are eager to purchase your specific assets. We'll handle the paperwork and payments so you can get back to running your business. Join the growing list of happy sellers who don't just sell but succeed with Purple Wave Auction. Straight, simple, sold.
Looking for sports in all the wrong places? Try the Owner's Box Sports Bar and Grill in Lakeland Town Square. Fun, friendly, exciting, and comfortable with wall-to-wall TVs for all your favorite games, 24 taps for all your favorite beers, including NA and local craft beers, and an in-front-of-the-wall full bar for all your other favorite beverages, including a full wine list. Add in an upscale menu, patio seating, daily specials, and events, and you found all your sports in the one right place. The Owner's Box Sports Bar and Grill in Lakeland Town Square, Highway 70.
I'm Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. I learned about atrial fibrillation the hard way. My symptoms would come and go: shortness of breath, fatigue. I kept going. Then I got so lightheaded, I couldn't. My doctor said I have AFib, so I'm about 5 times more likely to have a stroke. Other symptoms: irregular heartbeat, heart racing, chest pain can come and go, but the risk of stroke stays. If you have symptoms, tell a doctor. Visit NoTimeToWait.com.
Sponsored by Bristol-Myers Squibb and Pfizer.
Memorial Day weekend is coming, which means many folks will be grilling. And if you're firing up the grill this weekend or any weekend, there's one place to go for everything you need: Memphis Barbecue Supply. You need charcoal? They have 10 different brands of either lump or briquette charcoal. Pellets? How about over 2 tons in stock, 12 different flavors and blends. Looking for wood for smoking? Memphis Barbecue Supply has 9 different types of wood in chips, chunks, mini logs, and logs. You can even mix and match your wood from their bins of loose chunks. Whatever it is that you're grilling, steaks, ribs, burgers, pork butts, you name it, they have over 378 different rubs, sauces, injections, and raw spices to make sure your food tastes great. If you have any questions, they have award-winning pitmasters on staff that can help ensure that your cook will be the best ever. Memphis Barbecue Supply, 7041 Stage Road, or online, mbbqsupply.com. Moving is stressful, but Black Tie Moving can take the worry out of the process. Whether you're moving across town or across country, moving your home or your office, your personal moving concierge from Black Tie Moving will work with you to design a plan that perfectly fits your budget and needs. And they're available 24/7 to answer any questions you have. Give Black Tie Moving a call at 901-316-6196 or go to blacktiemoving.com/Memphis to get your personal, no obligation quote from the moving experts at Black Tie Moving.
Now back to Sports Time on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour is brought to you by Lexus of Memphis. Here are your hosts, Brett Stats Norsworthy and Bryant Dacus.
Well, Brett, I asked this question to Zach and Lee Aldwin yesterday, and so I want to ask you the same question. We've got these starting tonight with Boston and the Pacers kicking us off for the conference finals. Not who do you think's going to win, not who are you picking to win. Who are you for in both the West and the East?
Tonight, in the East, I am for Indiana because they've never won one.
Sure.
Now, am I going to throw down? Am I fall out with Keith Smith over it? No, not with anyone. If Boston won and won their 18th, much respect. Much appreciation for that history and that tradition of the Celtics. A time when the Boston Celtics were the team in Boston. Patriots were an afterthought, AFL, and not very good. And the Red Sox always coming up short and breaking a lot of hearts. Mm-hmm. That has really changed.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
I would say right now, well, we asked Keith this a few weeks ago, didn't we?
We did.
And he said – He said, sometimes can get in there second, maybe heat of the moment first, but a lot of times it settles into third with the Bruins behind them and the NFL monster with what the Patriots, the success they had, and the Red Sox being the evil empire of the 21st century, starting with breaking the curse of the Bambino in 2004 at Old Busch Stadium in St. Louis. So I'm for the Pacers. I remember them well in the old ABA days. My favorite player for the Pacers back then was a guy named George McGinnis. The late George McGinnis passed away in December. And he played college at Indiana, but he was there right before Knight took over. But his high school teammate, Steve Downing, was the star of IU that year, and they were in the Final Four with the Tigers in 73 in St. Louis, played UCLA in the semifinal game after the Tigers had defeated Providence in the first game of the day. And Steve Downing was big-time player for IU that year, and he was on the Pacers as well, but George McGinnis, he was the team. Rick Mount was on those Pacer teams. So I'm for the Pacers on that side. In the West, I'm for Minnesota because they've never won one. And I'm never for anything Mark Cuban, ever, and his dopey TV show.
Oh, you're not a fan of Shark Tank?
Well, I've watched Draymond longer than I have it, but I'm not going to watch it.
Oh, man, wow. Well, if anybody
can't stand Pistol Britches Cuban.
If anybody knows how much you watch Draymond on television, that's a big goose egg for you in a Shark Tank.
When baseball would not let him buy into baseball.
Oh, yeah.
He wanted the Pirates. He wanted the Cubs.
Really?
Too. But I think he grew up some in the Pittsburgh area.
Interesting.
He tried to buy into baseball a couple of times. Baseball probably could have used him.
Sure.
I do think he made the Mavericks a great franchise.
Certainly.
But I can't stand him.
He certainly has his own persona about him. You bring up Pittsburgh. I'm excited. I know we're talking NBA, and we'll get right back to it. But I'm excited to talk to Bo here in a couple hours. I was just seeing NFL Live on ESPN. I saw it in the hallway with the NFL meetings going on. Pittsburgh making a strong bid to try to get the NFL draft to Pittsburgh.
Draft set for next year in Green Bay.
Right.
They're trying to get in 2 years, right?
Yes. So I'm excited to ask Bo about that. And
home game for the draft. That'd
how
be
about
good.
that? I would love that. But no, back to basketball. Yeah, I mean,
But then if Dallas emerged and they won, I like what they've done. What Cuban has done with that team.
Oh yeah.
And from when he bought it from Donald Carter. And originally, when the Mavericks came in, it's about as wide as it is, far the proximity from here to Dallas, here to Atlanta. But I kind of liked them.
Right.
When they came in. There was a nice guy around my age. I probably shouldn't call it, but he's not with them anymore. But he did well. He retired after a 35, 40-year run working for the Mavericks, a boy from Helena, Arkansas, that loved sports. He was a year or two older than me, loved sports, and just applied. Went down to Dallas and applied with Mavericks. Got a job. Started out, with a small job. Worked all the way up to he was capologist, front office whiz kid, and he got enough of Cuban.
Sure.
And retired and doing something else in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. Always pulled for them because of him, and then when they got their championship with Dirk a few years ago, because one of these days, and I said it when Dallas won it, I think we will get ours in Memphis in less time than it took to get it in Dallas. And I think they came in 79, 80, and they won it, in 2011 or so?
Around there, yeah.
Around there? I hope we get it quicker than that.
I sure hope so, too. I mean, we talk all the time with Keith about those windows. They open and shut, and hopefully
slam shut.
Sure do.
They don't gently close.
No.
When it's over, it's rebuild time.
It sure is. But I like this Mavericks team. We were talking about it yesterday. I just love the way it's built.
What'd y'all settle in on?
I'm for Dallas, but I don't really care either way. But I'm for Dallas.
There was a time Michael Finley was my favorite player.
Really?
When he was with the Mavericks.
How about that? I said I was for the Mavericks and the Pacers. And Leoman, who'd you say you were for in both sides? Minnesota.
And you talking about for the last series?
Pacers and Celtics.
Someone with the Celtics.
Celtics. Okay. So yeah.
We're going to make these picks in a minute.
We sure are. But no, I mean, you look at what this Mavericks team they have with Luka and Kyrie, and then the guys that are stepping up, P.J. Washington and Gafford, and Derek Lively has been giving them really good minutes, a guy that I loved at Duke. Kyrie, another guy I loved at Duke. I mean, this is a fun team to watch.
When they came in as an expansion franchise, in Reunion Arena was built for them to start day one. I think in their history they've only played one game, not at Reunion and not at American Airlines Center. And oddly enough, Reunion was booked during a playoff game one year, so they had to play a playoff game at Moody at SMU.
You're kidding.
And my buddy I'm referencing,
Sure.
He had on the fly 18,000 seats at Reunion, but only 7 or 8 at Moody, and he had to figure out who's going to get those seats. And he said he knew he was going to make 8,000 people mad as heck at him. But he had to accommodate, the right ones.
Oh, absolutely.
To get in for that one night of that ever. And when they first started, they had a general manager, president of basketball ops. They had 2 guys, Rick Sun and Norm Sanju. They practically wrote the book on how to start as an expansion franchise. Wow. And they drafted, they did everything really well. Drafted well, had Mark Aguirre. Then they had Roy Tarpley, built, and Tarpley kind of came undone off the court. They lost some heartbreaking Western Conference finals, like everybody else did, to Magic and Kareem and James Worthy. And then that's about the time that Donald Carter sold to Mark Cuban, and he came in and he did kind of rewrite the book on how to be an owner, on how to treat the players. He was not the first to fly charter, but he was one of the first to really let spoil them rotten. I mean, they got to make the team. They got to play hard. We're going to pay them well, but we're going to treat them great. Diet, travel, no roommates on the road, things like that.
Yeah. I love that. That's awesome. Well, I'm excited for both of these. I've said it a couple of times. I'm really excited for these to get started. And
now Minnesota makes me really think that could be us.
Sure.
Because I know 2 short years ago, the Grizzlies were defeating them in the first round. They made a lot of smart moves after that.
Absolutely.
And the face of their franchise, I know this makes Grizzlies fans mad when I say this, but it's a fact. The face of the Timberwolves franchise, he didn't hurt his team off the floor like occurred here in Memphis with John Morant. That set this franchise back.
Oh, yeah. No.
And he is paid dearly.
Certainly.
Collectively, we've paid dearly.
Certainly.
They've advanced. They also were smart enough to cut loose from imbecile Pat Bev.
Yes, getting rid of him. And no, they've made a lot of really good moves. And I think what you said about Anthony Edwards, I mean, he's just an unbelievable player. I mean, even that last game, against the Nuggets, he didn't have a huge scoring game, but he was doing a lot of good things on the court, facilitating, running that offense really well, making an impact. And so he's just a lot of fun to watch. But I guess we need to make some picks now.
Here are the standings for the NBA. I'm 10-8. You're 10-8.
Wow.
Leod, when you inherit Johnny's picks, he's 9-9.
Wow, we are all right there with each other.
So we're right there. Group locks, we're 5-3.
Look at us
so far. Not bad for us.
No, not bad at all.
Give me Boston and Minnesota. Bryant?
Oh man. Give me Boston for sure. You know what? Give me Dallas. I think this is the year. Give me those Mavericks.
Okay. Leod?
Leod, step up. What you got?
For the Pacers and the Celtics series, I'm going to go with Boston. For the Minnesota versus Dallas series, I'm going with Minnesota. I feel like Minnesota's size and perimeter prowess is going to do Dallas in, even with Luka and Kyrie.
I think you're right. I'm right there with you, Leod. When group lock for us on Boston, I'm 4-1. Indiana takes the game. I just mentioned they hadn't lost at home since March 18th. Minnesota and Dallas looks like a 7-gamer.
It sure does. And, I mean, both of these teams have gone to war in their last series. I mean, what that Oklahoma City and Dallas series was, so much fun to watch. Even before that, Dallas had another big series on their hands in the first round. But then Minnesota, you look, they go down 20 points, 25 points to Denver in Game 7. They're able to come back. They get a big lead
and missed the Nugget dynasty.
Yeah, I mean, holy cow!
What happened?
Hey, who knows? I know one player on their team, their star player, probably happy the season got done. He can go back home and watch his horses that he loves to do. But
how many more for Denver in the future? With Jokic, with Nikola Jokic on the team, how many more?
I think they
if I said it at 1.5, would you go over and under?
I'll go. Man, I was gonna say they at least get one more. I'll go over just because I think he's an unbelievable player, and I think they can get good players around him. I'll go over, but I'm saying over as in I think maybe 2.
Oklahoma City over under 1.5.
Over, I think.
The Knicks
under.
Pacers.
It's almost like the Knicks might be cursed at this point. Uh-huh. Pacers, I'll go under.
Minnesota.
Oh, man, I'll go under.
And I hate to do this to the Knicks because I enjoyed it. I love the vibe, the feel, the organ,
sure.
the whole scene at Madison Square Garden. They won one playoff series.
And now look at the media, Brett. Look at what happened.
Running from
look at what happened. You called it.
Killing them. You knew they'd trash him on the
way
out. Trashing Thibodeau. Everybody knows Brunson needs some help.
Sure.
And also, you can't have that kind of bad luck like they had with all those injuries.
No, not at all.
But I knew they would crush them.
Of course.
I think the big city and around a lot of Red Sox fans this weekend, they had a lot at Busch Stadium.
Good.
They so enjoy ripping their own team.
It's kind of strange. It's a thing up there.
It really
Boston,
is.
New York, Philly. I mean,
we're
they
tough
love
on our teams. I mean, there was a guy behind me Saturday night. The game got real close. It was a real good game until late. Cardinals pulled away 1-7-2, tacked on a bunch in the last 2 at-bats because it was 2-2 at the end of 7. And this guy's talking like, this team should be like the 2018 team and win 118 games or something. And I wanted to turn around and go, you got one player.
Yeah.
Devers is all you have.
Sure.
But they're so arrogant, and they love ripping on their own.
Yeah, it's weird. You're right, but it's must be something in the water.
And I will never respect that fan base and that sports media in Boston for doing what they did to Terry Francona and divulging his personal medical records, his pharmaceutical records.
Crazy.
That's low rent.
Certainly.
As it gets.
Oh yeah, no, it's that's bad. That's really bad right there. Well, let's go ahead.
I don't ever want to be like that here.
No, not at all. We need to get to a break. All right, Brett, tell me one more time. What are we ranking on the other side? Top 4 coaches?
Top 4 teams, top 4 coaches, top 4 players remaining.
Okay, all right. So players, coaches, and teams remaining. We'll do that on the other side. We'll also make our NHL picks for the next round in the hockey playoffs, the Stanley Cup playoffs. We'll do all of that on the other side. Stick with us. You're listening to Sports Time.
Sports Talk. Sports 56 WHBQ. Available on your radio dial at 560 AM and 98.5 FM, as well as around the world online at sports56whbq.com. Take us with you everywhere by downloading the Sports 56 app. And at home, just say, Alexa, play Sports 56. Wherever you are, stay tuned in to Real Sports Talk. Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
It's time to have a good time at Mugshots Grill & Bar in Olive Branch and Carterville. Come by for half-price happy hour 2 to 6 Monday through Friday with domestic drafts and $3 snacks. Then try one of Mugshot's 19 specialty burgers, including the Mugshot Burger. Finish it in 12 minutes and it's free. Plus, you get a free shirt. Mugshots in Olive Branch, 6400 Goodman Road, and Mugshots in Carterville, 656 West Poplar. So cheers to great food, good drinks, and fun company at Mugshots Grill & Bar, where you're always having a good time.
You know, one thing we never talk about is how family-friendly Central Barbecue is.
Always has been.
At any Central Barbecue location.
And there are a lot of them.
You know your kids will have a good time and a great meal.
The kids' menu is perfect.
Everything from a grilled cheese to a junior barbecue sandwich to a hot dog, junior chicken sandwich, or classic mac and cheese, and they all come with a side and a small drink, all at a great price.
You just left me with literally nothing to say about kids at Central Barbecue.
I was just trying to be thorough.
You covered everything. What am I supposed to talk about?
The parking?
You just sold the whole commercial.
We're David and Greg Figueroa,
founders of Melinda's Hot Sauce.
If we were a big corporate brand, we might hire
a voice actor. But we're not, so we'll just tell you about our 41
unique flavors of Kraft Hot Sauce.
Dude, we can talk about the way we balance heat with
the fresh flavor of real ingredients.
Wow, nice.
Set your mouth on flavor with Melinda's Hot Sauces. Find them at your local retailer or online at melindas.com. That's melindas.com.
Brian Elder's Roofing Solutions.
It's silly season in the life of your roof. I'm Brian Elder, 867-0303. The weather can be unpredictable, and I'm ready to get more life out of your roof with our award-winning Owens Corning repair team. We're the repair guys the other repair guys call when they can't find the problem. Leaks become black mold when ignored. That's why when you call me, I start my inspection in the attic. Is it time for a beautiful new roof? 867-0303. I'll measure your roof from outer space and get you an estimate right over the phone. The best warranty in the business, including a warranty against ice dams. The only roofer in Memphis to offer a warranty against water intrusion due to snow buildup. Ask about military and first responder discounts. 901-867-0303 or BrianElderRoofing.com.
Call 867-0303. Brian Elder's Roofing Solutions.
As the seasons change, so does the need for reliable home comfort. It's time to turn to the experts with Choates, where your family's comfort is our top priority. Right now, Choates is making it easier than ever to upgrade your home's climate control with our exceptional Carrier systems. There's never been a better time to enhance your comfort. Select from incredibly low monthly payments, 36 months no interest financing, or choose our $1,650 Cool Cash rebate instead and lower the upfront cost on select Carrier systems. It's not just savings, it's cool cash in your pocket. Low monthly payments, no interest financing, or cool cash rebates? Whatever you choose, you're choosing quality, reliability, and the trusted service of Choates. Call us today at 347-8086 or visit ChoatesHVAC.com to learn more about these incredible savings. But hurry, these deals are as fleeting as a cool breeze on a hot day. Choates, let our family serve your family.
Everyone needs protection, whether you're on the field or on the road, so make sure you have the best. Bob Simpson State Farm Insurance can buckle you up with auto insurance, can back you up with life and health insurance, cover your business whether it's starting, growing, or maturing, and don't forget to insure your home, no matter if you're an owner or a renter. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. Call Bob Simpson today at 901-381-1233 or go online and get a free quote at bobsimpson.com. Stay protected with your good neighbor, Bob Simpson.
Now back to Sports Time on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour is brought to you by Lexus of Memphis. Here are your hosts, Brett Stats Norsworthy and Bryant Dacus.
All right, well, Brett came up with a great idea to do top four remaining. We did this before the last round, I believe. But top four remaining coaches, players, and teams. Brett, where would you like to start?
I'll start with teams.
Okay.
Boston's number one.
Absolutely.
Everybody agree?
Uh-huh.
Leodwin, you there? Boston, everybody there? Two for me is Minnesota.
Okay. I have Minnesota at number two for me as well.
Leodwin, agree? Full agreement, okay.
Perfect.
Dallas, 3?
Yep.
That leaves Indiana 4.
Yeah, so we're all in agreement for teams.
I don't want to get to the day of reseeding
either. Sure. No, not at all.
I think that day I may not see it, but soon, next 15 years, baseball is going to do it.
Oh no, Brett. Oh no.
Get ready.
Oh jeez.
We're going to seed at the end of the year. Never mind American and National League. We'll see it as the rounds go along.
Yeah, no, thank you.
Because we got to have the Yankees and the Dodgers.
Of course, absolutely. Those darn Dodgers.
Players. Number 1 for me, Anthony Edwards.
Okay.
For you?
Luka.
Number 2 for me, Luka.
Ant for me.
3, Tatum.
I've got Kyrie 3.
Ooh, I got Kyrie 4.
I have Tatum 4, so we're just flip-flopped on all
So
of
the
ours.
same place. Jaylen Brown's got a word, doesn't he?
He sure does. But it might be personal bias on mine. I love Luka. I love Kyrie, and I love Ant. So maybe I have a little bit of bias there.
And I'm ranking right now,
Sure.
not the totality of their careers today.
Right.
If I were making up a team, I don't think Kyrie Irving's played well in these playoffs.
I think he's played well. I think they've just found ways to use him differently because I think they're using him more as a decoy right now on offense, and certainly has been effective. But I think he's done a good job facilitating. He doesn't have the ball in his hands as much as he usually does, but I think he's been playing fine.
Your 4 coaches first.
My 4 coaches, number 1, Rick Carlisle, number 2, Chris Finch, number 3, Jason Kidd, and number 4, Joe Mazzulla.
That's mine.
Wow, how about that?
That's the pressure on Joe Mazzulla.
Sure is. Yeah.
Everybody knows those other coaches would have Boston there. How many other coaches around the league, at least 10, would have Boston right where they are?
Yeah, probably.
That's a lot of pressure.
Sure is.
In a town that's used to Red Auerbach and Bill Russell and Bill Belichick and Terry Francona and winners.
Yeah. No, you're right. And honestly, I'm this close, Brett. I'm this close to putting.
I left out Doc.
You did. You did. I'm this close, Brett, though, to putting Chris Finch number 1 because I haven't seen any of these other coaches coach on crutches.
And from the second row.
That's right. So a little bit there for Chris Finch. I have to bump him up number 1.
I mean, he's really close to where Glue Lady operated, isn't he?
Well, you gotta be careful,
Yeah,
especially
be really careful.
in Minnesota. Brett, we got to make hockey picks real quick.
Oh, we do. I almost forgot the hockey.
You always forget the hockey for some reason. It's very
all right,
strange.
we're down to Eastern Conference Finals and Western Conference Finals.
That's right.
In the East, give me Florida.
Give me New York.
Lee Aldwin?
I'm going to go with New York.
All right. Ranger up.
New York. Last time they won it, 1994. They've won it twice since 1940. 1940, 1994. Florida's never won it. Been to the Stanley Cup Finals. They were in Stanley Cup Finals last year, weren't they?
I think so. Or 2 years ago, 1 or 2.
I think they were.
I think they were last year. I don't remember.
I said it so confidently.
You did, and then I was like, yeah.
And then I thought, you don't have a clue what you're talking about.
But that's the thing, Brett. You got to say it with confidence.
Well, I did.
That's right.
And now it's just, I think they were in the Western or in the
I'll look
Stanley
it up.
Cup Finals last year. Western Conference, Dallas against Edmonton. Give me Dallas.
Wow. You're absolutely right, Brett. Panthers were in the Stanley Cup Finals against the Golden Knights. Golden Knights won it all. Brett, Edmonton's got to play a lot better this series if they want to advance to the Stanley Cup Finals. Stars been playing well. They've got rest. Oilers just wrapped up their series last night. I don't care. Give me the Oilers. I think they put it all together and win this series. Lee Alwood?
The great one's not walking through that door and playing for Edmonton.
Oh, but Brett, if I'm forced to watch all these games.
Did they win it in 89 without him?
That's for my time, Brett.
They were dynastic with him.
Yeah, I don't know.
And Dallas only won in Dallas or in Minnesota.
Right, but they got Connor McDavid now. He's got to play a little better, but
Lee Aldwin?
We'll see. Lee Aldwin?
I'm going to go with Edmonton to win this series.
All right.
Man.
How about that?
All right, here's the hockey standings.
Okay.
Brian, you're leading at 9-3.
I'm a puck guy, Brett.
I know you are. You have sweaters and everything.
That's right.
I'm at 8-4. Lee Aldwin, you inherited Johnny at 5-7. So you're dormy. You can't win.
You're just playing for fun, Lee Aldwin.
Lee Aldwin, I'm sorry. Well, yeah, if you won these two and the Stanley Cup, you could come in second.
How about that? So you're still playing for something.
Yeah.
You're just playing for second.
But Brian, right out there. But we're going to have some blood.
We are.
Us.
Brett, I knew we were going to make hockey picks today. I wore my my Kraken t-shirt today in honor of the Stanley Cup.
I've got on my Panthers t-shirt.
You do. You're right. It's the undershirt, I guess. Yeah. So let's go ahead and wrap up this hour and get to a break. When we come back, we're talking college football with Brent Beard.
This is hard to believe, but the Hyundai Santa Fe is actually better? I know, that's crazy, isn't it? The 2024 Santa Fe is new, top to bottom, and even better than before. It's almost as big as the Palisade, so roomy, and now it's got a standard third row. Everybody's clamoring for that. And it's the best SUV when it comes to the ride than ever before. You know how with SUVs you love it because you're sitting high, but you don't get that luxury kind of ride like a sedan? You do with the 2024 Santa Fe. It's the best riding SUV ever, and it's quiet. It's the ultimate family car. All you've got to do to be sold is to test drive it. The people at Homer Skelton Hyundai are saying, come try it. You'll love it. Homer Skelton Hyundai, right at the corner of Highway 78 and Craft Road. First exit in Mississippi. Go see the ultimate SUV, the 2024 Santa Fe.
Tuning into this station was the first best thing you have done today. This is Sheldon Rosengarten, and I'm with you, Mallory, and we are both with Mark's Bensdorf Realtors. You, what's the next thing we can advise people to do if they are selling their home?
The next best thing? Remember, Sheldon, the real estate market is changing, and you need honest, forthright help navigating the new environment. Doing it on your own is like driving a car in a blinding snowstorm.
Correct, you. The upcoming changes will mean a lot for both buyers and sellers, and that's why we always advise people to talk to 2 to 3 real estate brokers and make sure that we are one of them.
Sheldon, 2 to 3 real estate brokers? Really? Like 2 to 3 tee shots you always take?
Yes, you. It's important to have a choice, whether in real estate or in golf. Now, back into the fairway, and to find out how you will move you, call him at 497-9756, or find out why they often say when you want the job done, call Shell Dunn at 483-0546 or memphisrelocate.com. That's 483-0546.
Hi, folks. I'm Bert Cummings for Sunrise Buick GMC Truck. Thinking about a new or used car truck and not sure where to get the most for your money? Listen to what Sunrise has to offer. Over 800 new Buicks and GMCs to choose from with factory rebates up to $6,500 and a $15 million used car inventory specializing in vehicles under $15,000. Bad credit, bankrupt, slow pay, it's okay. At Sunrise, we specialize in secondary financing, and Sunrise wants to get you approved. The #1 volume Buick GMC dealer in the Mid-South and the home of the guaranteed credit approval. Sunrise, Covington Pike, Wolf Chase, and 385 at Houston, Levy, and Collierville.
The 36th annual John Bull Bramlett Memorial Golf Classic is Tuesday, May 28th. This summer, Great Memphis Fellowship of Christian Athletes, or FCA, will have over 1,000 student athletes and coaches participating in camps. The funds raised from this golf tournament help send athletes to camp where they learn more about their sport as well as learning leadership skills while hearing the gospel of Jesus. For registration and sponsorship information, please visit memphisfca.org or email memphisfca@fca.org.
Includes all rebates and incentives. Price excludes $695 PF. Lease includes PF $695. $650 acquisition fee. EV 6 P5610964. MSRP $50,200. Telluride RG 510 $849. MSRP $38,305. Forte LXS RE 78169. MSRP $21,820. Must finance through Hyundai. Excludes tax title and license. See dealer for complete details. Offer valid through 5/31/2024 with approved credit. Dealer stock only.
I got Jeff Allen on the line to hear about some crazy deals happening at Gossett Kia South Mount Moriah.
Randy, I'd love to give all our customers our best deal. 2024 Kia Forte LXS gets 41 MPG Highway, $199 a month, $34.99 due at signing. 282 miles EPA estimated range will get you where you want to go in the 2023 Kia EV6 Win, $249 a month, plus a 2024 Telluride LX, $357 a month. Both $39.99 due at signing and 24-month lease.
And 0% for 48 months on 2024 EV9 and peace of mind with a 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain limited warranty.
So whether you live in Horn Lake, South Haven, Olive Branch, or Memphis, we'll make you happy at Gossett Kia South on Mount Moriah.
Ole Miss Rebel Yell is back. The Rebel Yell Hotline Radio Show is back on WHBQ Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. Every Monday night at 6, hear the latest news on your Ole Miss Rebels with Yancey Porter with 24/7 Sports, former Ole Miss defensive tackle Mike Fitzsimmons, Gordon Ford covering SEC Sports Call, and former Ole Miss baseball announcer Gary Darby. From kickoff to free throw to extra innings, your Ole Miss sports on the Rebel Yell Hotline Show right here Monday night at 6 on Sports 56, 560 AM and 98.5 FM. Your Mid-South Sports Station.
We are Sports 56, WHBQ Memphis, and W253 DF Memphis, Flynn Broadcasting Stations. Sports 56 Traffic.
Good afternoon. A couple of EMS calls out here the last 15, 20 minutes. Not bad right now in the construction zone as we stare at it live on 55 north and southbound over here between Macklemore, South Parkway. Now 55 coming across the bridge. Been a little bit slow. Hit and miss there this afternoon over from west to Memphis with some short delays. It's busy already. 240 east here at Poplar. Hey, 24/7 reliable crane and rigging services right here in the Memphis area. Check out tomahawkcrane.com for more information. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
College football talk every Tuesday with Brent Beard, Heisman voter, and on Twitter X at Brent Beard. SEC, ACC, AAC. We talk it all with Brent. Here's Brent Beard with Bryant and Brett.
Brent Beard joins us now from First Coast News in Jacksonville like he does every single Tuesday afternoon. Brent, thanks so much for joining us, and plenty to get to. A very busy time in college football, even though it's the offseason. But we got to start with this House versus NCAA case. We already know the Big 12 voted unanimously to approve the settlement. We're expecting all of the power conferences to do the same. What do you make of this entire thing that is really the biggest story, really probably in sports right now?
If they can settle this thing, it would take a lot of pressure off of college football and allow them to go on to the next steps, and it looks like that is going to happen. I mean, they really thought this thing wouldn't be settled for maybe for years, and it still is going to be a while to get it all done. Now, if you settle this, there's obviously talk about what it leads to next, which may be revenue sharing and going on down the line to be more NFL light, shall we say. So, look, people don't want to get into the minutia of this. Fans don't, and I get that. But it's just something that needed to be done. It really bothered the ADs and the presidents and the chancellors, and to be able to deal with this. And I don't know how fair the settlement's going to be, but it's going to be good to have it done.
It will be, Brent, because if they don't get it done at 2.7, 2.8, the next price is just going to go up, and it's just going to go up. There's going to be more lawsuits. Coach Nick Saban said last week that he thought the biggest threat to college football, college sports as we know it, is just no way to pay all the legal bills and some of them fanciful lawsuits, including, I think, today, the Rashada lawsuit at Florida. Nevertheless, going forward, if we don't get this deal done, the next deal will be the one that it's just the power to. I think some are out there almost hoping, this is the time that big old mean SEC and big old mean Big Ten, they finally get theirs. Well, here's what's going to happen. If they don't get this deal, and it may not be real or perceived as fair to some of the little guys out there, the next deal won't even include the little guy at all. It will be the Power 2 at about 20 teams, 24 teams each, and that will be the structure of what we know as college football.
Well, and the percentages are looking something similar to the P5 schools are responsible for 40% of the $2.7 billion. The G5, 17%, and 2% for some of the other schools. 60% paid by the schools, 40% by the NCAA over a 10-year period. This anybody that's been interviewed in any of these articles over the last few weeks, the administrators and the coaches and all the above, they just know how important it is to get it done so that they can go into some different things. And it is going to, as Brett said, it is going to look very different, and it's going to be very different. But they've got to get this settled first so they can get on with it.
But college football are teams playing under the banner of college teams, SEC teams, Big Ten teams, Memphis, Tulane. It's not going away because it makes too much money with those TV contracts. And the NFL, they don't want it going away because it's the best minor league you could ever think about having because they don't have to fund one red cent of it. So it's going to stay around in some form. This is the best shot for it to kind of be, I'm going to say 70, 80, maybe 90 teams. But some of these teams paying those percentages, they simply can't. They won't be able to. And what they've been doing, Brent, and this is a cold statement to make, but it's the truth. They've been trying to be something they're not.
True. Well, they don't have the resources and facilities and the personnel to be who they really want to be. And I think that's why one of the reasons we've said over the last few months that frankly, the non-Power 5 need to get together and see what they can do to save themselves in the midst of this, because we really don't know how, shall we say, cutthroat this may get as we go along. I mean, I'm with Brett on this. I think we've got, 60, 70 teams maybe at the most, or maybe even less than that, before this thing is over. So, but again, you either deal with this debt now, or you can deal with it later. And when you do later, it's probably going to be double, triple what it is now.
It scares me though that under this deal, it still keeps college sports connected with the NCAA, and I want it to die. Yeah.
Well, look, I get that thought. I really do. I think
we'll come up with a basketball tournament.
Oh yeah, they will. Yeah, they will, and they're really hanging on. I think they understand that this is one of the last ways for them to stay involved and keep their finger in the pie, and they want to come up with some new enforcement and some new ways to hang on. The thing they really want to do is Congress bail them out, and them still be a viable organization. Now they may be a viable organization somewhere down the line, but they have nowhere near the intimidation factor, if you can say that, over the last few decades.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh, well, Brett mentioned it earlier, but on top of this, we also have the Jaden Rashada situation as he is suing Billy Napier, the head of their NIL department. What do you make of this? I remember last year when all of this was happening, kind of seeing this, Rashada decommits from Miami, now he's committing to Florida, this massive NIL deal that they're going to give him, and then hearing all the news that, that isn't going to actually happen, and now he's asking out of his NLI, he's now going to go to Arizona State, and now he's, after transferring to Georgia, so now he's an SEC quarterback, now going out and suing an SEC coach. Is suing Florida. What do you make of this entire situation?
Yeah. Do you think Kirby will find a way to get him in the Florida-Georgia game coming up in a few months? I think he probably will. This is it certainly is not a good look for Florida, and it really is indicative of where they were months ago with their NIL, which they were really abysmal with it. Mm-hmm. They've improved it considerably, and they improved it with some different personnel, and so they're in better shape than they were than when they were dealing with Rashada. And I talked to a Gator beat writer about this today. He thought this is kind of a money grab in some ways, and kind of a he said, she said type thing along with this. I don't think there's a contract involved with this, or at least a lot of the media have said they haven't seen anything about that. I mean, I've seen some of that language in some of the reports here, but I don't think, and the beat writer didn't either, that this is going to cost Napier his job. I mean, will it make him look in the NIL Florida incompetent? Well, probably. Unfortunately, will it put some heat on Scott Strickland? Probably. But in the long run, what I've been told, this probably will not lead to necessarily a firing. It's embarrassing that this was just such a debacle, the way that it was. And again, that I'm hoping in the long run that what we've been talking about from this House case is going to mean that NIL is going to be structured differently. It's not going to be as powerful of an entity as it is now. It's not going away, but will it be contained? Will there be a few more guardrails on it? I think that might be possible along this line. And again, the other thing with the NCAA is I don't care what it is. It's going to take a year and a half for this thing to go through the channels, and the reality is by then people may be forgetting who Rashada even is.
Yeah.
Brent, I can understand around the SEC how some athletic directors get really untouchable. Scott Strickland's predecessor, Jeremy Foley, just one of the greats. Coach Frank Broyles, one of the greats. Doug Dickey at Tennessee, and others. How did Scott Strickland, and why did he get so untouchable?
I don't. That's a good point. I think there is a promise for them that this thing's going to be better. Our softball team is doing well. Our gymnastics team, our basketball team with Todd Golden. I mean, you hear some of that. But to your point, the not so good stuff is not laid at the AD's feet as it was in the past here. That's a great question that goes unanswered a lot of ways here.
It really does. You look out there right now, we're approaching magazine season. Some are close to being out. I've even seen some people on Twitter with magazines.
Really?
Where are they getting?
Oh, yeah. Well, look, now how nutty I am about this is last year, I've tracked when they've come out. I had a magazine last year, May the 23rd, and that's 2 days. That's 2 days. So, if I don't get arrested for stalking...
this person may have tweeted, we're getting close to magazine season, and that was a copy from last year.
Possibly. I saw the same thing on Twitter, and I wondered if... you know what, Brent, if I remember right, it said 2024. So, but Lindy's will be out first, then Athlon.
What do we got to do to get a copy, Brent?
Right.
Really, good point. Phil Steele is coming out by July the 4th. Now, look, I know Phil's magazine's a tough read because of how small the lettering is. But the other thing,
it's a must read.
I admire a guy who can. Look, y'all saw this like I did. Spend an hour with Caleb DeBoer, spend an hour with this guy, and spend an hour. Who does that?
DeBoer didn't spend an hour with Paul Bryant Jr.
That is really. That's unbelievable when you think about it. That he has the access to these coaches and the trust of these coaches the way that he does.
When we get the magazines, a lot of predictions, a lot of lists. We're Bryant and I are already going over a lot of them. You're seeing a lot of Vegas odds to make the college football playoff. Brent, if you had to pick a back-of-the-pack team among these teams in the SEC, Tennessee, Ole Miss, Mizzou, to make the college football playoff, which one would you make the strongest case for?
Ole Miss. I think that's pretty easy.
Did I make you say that?
No,
Okay,
no, you really didn't.
clarify.
In fact, I had this discussion with a friend yesterday in Macon, Georgia, that has several stations, and we talked about that.
Bill
I don't
Shanks?
think.
Yeah.
Look, I know Nico's getting a lot of excitement, but I don't think they've got the defense that they did. Now, obviously, Missouri brings back Cook and Luther Burden at quarterback, a wide receiver, and then you've got, and so, but their defense, I don't think, is where it needs to be.
Okay, with those three, with Eli Drinkwitz, Josh Heupel, Lane Kiffin, rank those three coaches.
I would put, I'd put Lane 1, I'd put Drinkwitz 2, and Heupel 3.
Yeah, I would too.
Yeah.
Right? Disagree?
No,
Agree?
I'm absolutely with y'all.
Because the summertime love for Ole Miss, that's not Brett WHBQ Ole Miss generated. This is I saw Brad Powers, a Vegas type. He had Ole Miss with the 6th best odds to win it all.
Well, to me, the playoffs being expanded to 12 was tremendous for teams like Missouri and for Ole Miss. Could those teams get in the 4? Eventually, probably. But when you're in the 12, and I still think we're going to have something akin to Alabama and Georgia and Missouri and Ole Miss.
Texas,
in the that will be your main teams that have a chance to reach the playoffs this year, and I mean that's a pretty good bunch. But it really is going to be exciting for teams that normally wouldn't be in there to be in there, and the drama that's going to create is going to be amazing.
We got the full NFL schedule last Wednesday, and with that, 2 games on the Saturday, December 21st, of the games on campus, the 5 through 12 teams playing on the 3 campus sites on Saturday. There will be a game on Friday night, and they put it right in the middle of it. One game at noon, one at 3:30. Yep. We've talked about manipulating the seedings to avoid rematches. Do you think they should manipulate seedings to avoid rematches and also roll out the big guns to try to beat the NFL in the ratings?
Not necessarily. Look, my theory with that has been quit worrying about, and this is in general, quit worrying about what the NFL is going to do, and just play your games. And if you do that, that's going to take care of itself. And look, some of these NFL games at that time of year could be some real dog games, and I think people are going to have the remote, and they're going to be clicking away anyway, going back and forth along that line. But I don't know if they necessarily need to have the teams that we would think that be in the top 5 playing on that same Saturday with the.
Brent, I think we got to manipulate. I think we got to roll out the big guns, because those games are going to be C.J. Stroud and the Houston Texans against Patrick Mahomes and the Kansas City Chiefs. That's at noon. The second game is going to be the Steelers and the Ravens. AFC North Division. College football's got to roll something out, or it will get massacred ratings.
Well, I think we knew that was going to happen, and that was going to be one of the byproducts of expand the playoffs. That you're going to have some conflict with that, and I mean the NFL doesn't care. Frankly, they're going to do whatever they want to do. But I thought that way for a while on this Thursday night stuff. Just play some games. People are going to watch
and take your pummeling
if they do or not.
Yeah. But the big business side of it, I would love to know. I'm just total guess. I'm going to say those NFL games, that Saturday noon, Saturday 3:30, that'll be around 13 to 18 million viewers.
Yeah.
If college football can get into double digits, 10 million, 11 million, you can handle that. But Brent, I don't think PR-wise and going forward in the years ahead, you can go out there and it's 20 million NFL to 5 for the college games up against it. I don't think you can take that kind of whipping.
I don't. The thing I wonder about that is in that point late in the season, will in those games, will the NFL want to play their stars then, or are they going to hold some people back?
They're playing then.
I wonder about then too.
Yeah, they're playing.
Yeah, it's gonna be fascinating to see what those games look like, what those ratings look like for sure. But Brent, as always, so much fun chatting with you. Enjoy your week. We'll talk to you again next week.
We'll look forward to it, guys. Take care. Okay.
Thanks,
take
Brent.
care too. Brent Beard with us every week talking college football. What kind of massacre do you think college could withstand? I said 20 to 5. That's 4 times the audience.
Yeah.
And you know who's going to go out and celebrate that kind of ratings whipping?
Who's that?
The college basketball crowd.
Yeah.
That can never get 10, 15 million for anything other than Final Four weekend.
Brett, nobody's talking about that right now. I mean, imagine that Saturday when we know there's going to be good games on that Saturday in college basketball. Imagine the ratings for those games. I mean, it's going to be really bad.
Yeah, never mind. Chiefs and Texans got 20 million, and Clemson and Missouri got 5 million. What did Georgetown and UConn get?
Not much.
Y'all gonna tell us that part of it?
No. They'll avoid that.
They never do.
That's right.
They never do. I'm going to tell you about All-Star Chevrolet in Olive Branch. That's the first exit on Highway 78 after you cross the state line into Mississippi. You're there. And if you're ready for that family road trip this summer, it needs to start at Olive Branch, right there at All-Star Chevrolet, with the Silverados, the Tahoes, the Suburbans. Get up to 30 miles per gallon with your new All-Star Chevy Equinox or Trailblazer, financing down to 1.9. No payments for a full 90 days. That's the rest of the summer. You don't have to worry about a payment. All-Star Chevy with a great deal on a new 24 Blazer EV. Get charged up for this 36-month lease on the Blazer EV at just $369 a month, only $2,500 down, and the usual tax, title, and license. For details, ask any sales consultant at All-Star. Go down and look at the Silverados, all there at Olive Branch. Discounts up to $10,500 and 1.9 financing. College students, grads, military teachers, healthcare workers, first responders, instant extra $500 back in bonus cash. You want something pre-owned, they have it. All the Jeeps, the trucks, and a Corvette, all on the lot right now. And as we come up on this weekend for Memorial Day weekend, our friends at All-Star, they want me to remind everyone to remember all who have made that ultimate sacrifice serving our great country, and prayers and commemoration to their families this weekend. Should be every weekend, but certainly this weekend on Memorial Day. Together, let's drive to All-Star Chevy in Olive Branch or go to allstarautogroup.com.
Well, let's get to a quick break. When we come back, I want to know more about Brett's trip to St. Louis over the weekend.
2-1.
2-1. I mean, birds are rolling right now. Don't look now. We got plenty of baseball to talk about, so stick with us. You're listening to Sports Time on Sports 56, 98.5 FM.
Add a little fun to your lunch break. Join Johnny Radio for Sports 56 Happy Hour from 11 to 1 every weekday on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Memorial Day weekend is coming, which means many folks will be grilling. And if you're firing up the grill this weekend or any weekend, there's one place to go for everything you need: Memphis Barbecue Supply. You need charcoal? They have 10 different brands of either lump or briquette charcoal. Pellets? How about over 2 tons in stock? 12 different flavors and blends. Looking for wood for smoking? Memphis Barbecue Supply has 9 different types of wood in chips, chunks, mini logs, and logs. You can even mix and match your wood from their bins of loose chunks. Whatever it is that you're grilling, steaks, ribs, burgers, pork butts, you name it, They have over 378 different rubs, sauces, injections, and raw spices to make sure your food tastes great. If you have any questions, they have award-winning pitmasters on staff that can help ensure that your cook will be the best ever. Memphis Barbecue Supply, 7041 Stage Road, or online, mbbqsupply.com.
Hot wings, what's your favorite flavor? The Crazy Coop, America's premier wing destination, has 32 delicious flavors to choose from and counting. Like the Crazy Lemon Twist, a savory, zesty, and citrusy taste of fresh lemon twist. The Jalapeno Cheddar, an acidic and spicy flavor completed with a burst of sharp cheddar. Or Crazy Sweet Heat, tangy sweetness followed by the heat. And that's just 3 of the amazing 32 chicken wing seasonings that you can get at the Crazy Coop in Bartlett at 7199 Stage Road. Some like it hot. How about the Crazy Sweet Lemon Pepper Hot or Crazy Suicide? Can't take the heat? Get the 4-cheese roasted garlic or barbecue bacon bourbon. Ask about the Crazy Coop Special. Choose from 3 whole wings or 6 party wings, fries, and drink, all for just $9.99. Now those are some crazy good prices. The Crazy Coop, 7199 Highway 64 between Appling and Kirby Whitten. Family owned and operated, The Crazy Coop, America's premier wing destination.
Includes all rebates and incentives. Price excludes $6.95 PF. Lease includes PF $6.95. $6.50 acquisition fee. EV6 P5610964. MSRP $50,200. Telluride RG510 $849. MSRP $38,305. Forte LXS RE78169. MSRP $21,820. Must finance through Hyundai. Excludes tax title and license. See dealer for complete details. Offer valid through 5/31/2024 with approved credit. Dealers.com.
I got Jeff Allen on the line to hear about some crazy deals happening at Gossett Kia southbound Mariah.
Randy, I'd love to give all our customers our best deal. 2024 Kia Forte LXS gets 41 MPG Highway, $199 a month, $34.99 due at signing. 282 miles EPA estimated range will get you where you want to go in the 2023 Kia EV6 Win, $249 a month, plus a 2024 Telluride LX, $357 a month. Both $39.99 due at signing and 24-month lease.
And 0% for 48 months on 2024 EV9 and peace of mind with a 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain limited warranty.
So whether you live in Horn Lake, South Haven, Olive Branch, or Memphis, we'll make you happy at Gossett Kia South on Mount Moriah.
Hewlett & Dunn Boot and Clothing Company, we have it all. From handmade Amish leather belts, fine and casual clothing, boots, casual boots, work boots, fancy boots, and even safety-toed boots. Lots of cowboy hats to choose from, even Nebo lights, good-looking duck head dress shirts, duck head caps, shorts, and pants. Tons of jeans from Ariat, Wrangler, Devil Dog, and Kimes Ranch jeans. At Hewlett & Dunn, we have a great selection of Old South t-shirts and caps. Fine clothing from dress to casual to Sunday best. Enjoy choosing from UFO's orthopedic-approved shoes. Hewlett & Dunn Boot and Clothing Company. Boots of every size, every color, every skin. Great quality Western, work, and safety toe boots. Hewlett & Dunn Boots and Clothing Company. 111 North Center Street, Collierville. Hewlett & Dunn. Hewlett & Dunn, serving you and your family since 1961.
Thinking about buying a lab-grown diamond versus a natural diamond? Before you make a decision, get the facts at Genesis Diamonds.
We have professionals, certified diamond graders, people who have been in the industry for 20, 30 plus years, who are able to educate.
Nadia Ganizer at Genesis says Genesis carries both natural and lab-grown diamonds and can give you all the pros and cons.
So if they have a question about lab-grown diamond value, we will explain that. We will explain the difference in price. We will explain what to expect in the future.
Nadia says beware. A lot of jewelry stores are using the popularity of lab-grown diamonds to outrageously mark up these stones.
Some retailers charge unreasonable amounts for lab-grown diamonds, and I think that they do take advantage of customers.
But at Genesis, their low-price margin philosophy is the same for natural and lab-grown.
Our price will still be the lowest.
Get the education and value you deserve every day on every diamond at Genesis Diamonds at Poplar and Perkins Extended.
Top Gun is the largest indoor range in the Mid-South, but size isn't their only difference. Top Gun has the best instructors with over 300 years combined experience and classes all the way from first shot to master marksmanship. Plus, Top Gun is affordable. Gold membership is just $48 a month. That's just $1.60 a day for unlimited range time, free gun rentals with purchase of ammo, and members lounge access. Top Gun 2770 Whitten Road and TopGunMemphis.com. Always shoot with the best. Top Gun Memphis.
Listen each and every Sunday morning at 10 a.m. and join Ottawild Presbyterian Church for worship. Ottawild is a PCUSA church located in Midtown Memphis.
Now back to Sports Time on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. Here once again are Brett Norsworthy and Bryant Dacus.
Welcome back into Sports Time. Bryant and Brett with you on this Tuesday afternoon. Gotta get my days straight. Tuesday afternoon, we're in our Family Leisure Studios. And Brett, I got to get your thoughts on the Cardinal City Connect jerseys. I know you've seen them. They put them out yesterday. They were actually leaked over the weekend, but they really put them out yesterday. They went on sale yesterday. Last night during the broadcast, they were showing a bunch of people in the stands wearing them. What do you think of them, Brett?
I think if people like that and that's what they want to wear, go right at it. Go to the team store, spend whatever you want to spend. I had a Cardinals person tell me Friday night, we were talking about the next weekend against the Cubs coming up. That's when they're going to roll out and what they're braced for. And he told me that everybody in the organization got an email both from the Cardinals and from Major League Baseball, and the gist of it is, you're going to damn well like this.
You like the jerseys.
And you're going to say how much you like them. You're going to say you would wear them. You're going to talk about how great and how cool and avant-garde they are. And you're going to like them. We will not have a dissenting word.
Wow.
Okay, fine. And we will see at the marketplace. This person also told me, said, Brett, one reason why you don't like it, you want just the traditional. I didn't even like it when the Cardinals went back to the bluish on the road in the mid-'90s.
Really?
Hat. No, I didn't. I didn't. It wasn't that bad.
Sure.
But because they had that once before, and not just because you had it once before makes it right or wrong. But I like the red hat, the birds on the bat, the traditional look, just like the Yankees have, just like the Dodgers have, just like a lot of brands would love to have that look. And this person said to me, we've sold to everybody that hat. We've got to open up new markets. We've got to we got to have people buying different stuff. The red hat with STL on it, not everybody's got one.
That's true. Yeah. That's a good point. I'll be honest. In terms of the City Connect uniforms, just around the league, I think the Cardinals are one of the better ones. I think it sticks to the traditional jerseys, the jerseys that everybody across baseball knows. It's a historical look. It's a historic logo. I think it sticks to it very well. And you look at some of these other teams, I think it could have been much, much worse.
Yeah, but isn't that something that we're just holding out that it wasn't much worse?
Yes.
But
that's kind of the precedent that Major League Baseball has set with the City Connect jerseys.
And what I'm saying now on these airwaves, I say when we break out the alternate uniforms at Ole Miss, I always say I prefer the traditional look. The gray pants with, on the road, the white top, blue or powder blue helmet. At home, gray pants, blue top, red top, or powder blue or deep blue helmet. I prefer that look. But if the youngsters want to wear, I call them our New England Patriots uniforms, when we kind of wear the all white with the red helmet and the red stenciling that looks like the Patriots in the 70s, fine. What I call our Houston Oilers look that we broke out in the Sugar Bowl a few years ago. They like to wear those. That's fine. If you want to go to the various places around town and buy that, you can. I'm going to wear the more traditional stuff I'm used to. That doesn't make me right, but it sure doesn't make me wrong either. And I don't want somebody telling me you're gonna like this, and if you don't, you're a big meanie. I'll tell you if I like it or not.
No, absolutely. And
there's one thing the Cardinals have done in around Major League Baseball. It's been done that I don't like. When they wear the traditional hat now, the STL on the Cardinals, the LA on the Dodgers, the NY on the Yankees, it's all a little bit bigger. And I don't want that. I liked it regular size. I went in the team store Friday afternoon There's not one thing in there I would spend 1 cent on, and I wouldn't want anybody to spend a cent on. It's all too garish for me.
Sure.
It's just all the golf shirts, the STL is bigger than my whole left side. I don't need that. You know I don't dress like that. You know that doesn't appeal to me, but they're not trying to appeal to me.
Right.
They're trying to appeal to a target audience 15 to 40.
Sure. Yeah.
And if those people 15 to 40 want to wear it, rock on. Have fun, cheer hard. I hope you enjoy it. It's not for me.
Well, it's interesting what you said about the kind of who this is appealing to, because I think that's a really interesting way to look at it. I mean, Joe Miller, who has season tickets to the Cardinals and he's 35, works in St. Louis. How about that? Yeah. He goes to every home game and has season tickets, 35 years old. He has all the gear. He has a jersey of every color and all the hats and stuff like that. He's not going to go to the team store and buy another Nolan Arenado red jersey.
He's got it.
But when you come out with something like this, I mean, it's like me with the Kraken. I have a regular Kraken sweater, but when they were in the Winter Classic and they dropped the special Winter Classic jerseys, I was one of the first people to get online and try to buy one because I was like, I have to have one of these. If I don't buy it now, I'm never going to have it. And so it's those type of people that are going to buy it, and there is that market for it.
And I hope they enjoy it.
And I hope they do.
I really do. I hope they're the fan that I've been, and they enjoy it as much as I have.
Sure, absolutely. And Brett, have you seen the price tags for these uniforms? I was blown away.
I never peeled a price back or inquired from a sales rep, because I promise you, there's not one thing in that gift shop that you could give me.
Brett, I saw, this was a tweet from one of the beat writers, and I don't remember which one yesterday. So they have 2 different versions of the jersey that you could buy. You could buy one that was the lesser option, no stitching, just all printed on. That one was going to run you about $200. The actual stitched on jerseys, like regular authentic jerseys.
Just like the players wear.
$400.
Yeah, I'm glad I didn't peel back any prices.
That is unbelievable.
Here's something else. On even when the Cardinals wear the traditional birds on the bat a few years ago, Major League Baseball properties, marketing, they made it all bigger. The birds on the bat are bigger than, I would say, even in 2006.
Right.
In 2011, last 2 World Series. I don't need that. The size of the birds on the bat was just fine when Keith Hernandez wore.
That's right. We don't need to get bigger.
They're not appealing to me.
Sure.
Too younger, they want a little more oomph. They want a little more garish.
Yeah.
And that's fine. I hope they enjoy it. I hope they wear it. I'm going to be Mr. Subtle.
Well, here's the thing. You always say the market will answer, and if this doesn't sell and it's not selling well in the team store, guess what, Brett? They'll go right back to the style you like. And
that Cardinals person I was talking to is a front office person. Yeah. Nobody would know who their name is.
Sure.
If I used his name, you never see him on TV. You never hear about him. Last night I'm watching, so I said that to set this up, that it was not Ricky Horton. I think I spoke to Ricky Horton Friday night when I was by the broadcast booth a little while before the game. But last night, watching him do the language gymnastics like he liked the uniforms.
That's right.
I thought of that person that told me about the memo of, by golly, you're going to like them, and you're going to tell everybody you like them.
Well, you just bringing that up made me think about just watching the broadcast last night and seeing all the different times throughout the game that they were panning around
Bob
the
and
stadium,
Sue sitting over here,
seeing all the people that had just bought them. Yes, exactly.
They all love them.
That's right. And they were only showing people that were wearing those new jerseys, saying, oh, look, everybody loves them. Everybody's wearing them.
One of the highlights of the weekend, I told you that I have really tried to like, in his year and 2 months of calling the games, Chip Carey.
Yeah.
But that did not know him, still don't, but I finally got to meet him Friday night before the game, and then after the game at an event, got to talk to him for a good while.
Good.
And really nice man. And I didn't realize this, but he grew up in St. Louis after his dad Skip Carey got the job with he was doing the St. Louis Hawks NBA games in St. Louis. When they moved to Atlanta, about simultaneous to moving to Atlanta, his parents divorced. So his dad moved to Atlanta and started doing the Atlanta Hawks.
Yeah.
And he stayed back, not full, but most custody with his mother. So he grew up in St. Louis and was, a big Cardinals fan, and would go visit his dad. And with his dad's Atlanta connections, that's how he fell in love with people down there and went to college at Georgia, in Athens at the University of Georgia, and big Georgia Bulldog fan. I think he even worked in a hunker down to me when we were visiting. Big fan, really, really, really nice man.
Good.
And I told him, I said, you've drawn the 2 worst years in Cardinal history to call games. And a person with Bud Sports that runs the Cardinal Network said he's been the shining star of these 2 bad years. He's taken it better than anybody because he's glad to be back home.
That's right. Yeah, well, that makes it better, certainly. And we haven't talked about it, but this weekend, I think Friday night maybe, it's going to be him and Joe Buck calling the game against the Cubs, which will be fun.
And they're naturally friends from way back. Joe Buck's about 4 years younger than Chip Carey, but they naturally, of course, knew each other. They're very famous,
of course,
towering figure dads. And now they both know that they probably jumped a line on getting a start in the broadcasting business, but then you have to have something to stay.
That's right.
And they both obviously have done that. And they're both looking so forward to Friday night doing the Cardinals and the Cubs. And Jack Buck and Harry Carey certainly in their times together had some moments. I think they both probably wanted to kill each other.
Sure.
But they didn't. And then, of course, at the end, loved each other.
Yeah. No, when I saw that kind of the tweets coming out last week about that they were going to be doing the game together. And I think that's so cool. I mean, Joe Buck, obviously what he's become is just unbelievable.
You know what Chip Carey said to me about his granddad?
What'd he say?
So, Harry Carey. Harry Carey's your granddad. And he said it very softly, almost melancholic. He said, I really didn't know Harry.
Wow.
And didn't call him granddad.
Wow.
He said, he was such a big figure and I was in St. Louis, and he was all over the world. He said, I really didn't know him.
Wow. That's sad.
It is.
Interesting. And now his son is
doing
with the A's, which is really cool to see.
And he has another son, I think, doing AAA for Vegas.
Really?
Maybe.
Is that right? Wow.
Vegas or somebody.
Somewhere, yeah. Wow. How about that? So whole family getting some success. I love that. But no, I'm glad you had a good time in St. Louis, and glad you finally got to meet him.
And got to beat the Red Sox.
The Red Sox, finally. I mean, check that off the list, Brett.
And Friday night, 10-6, I knew I was going to get it. Felt good, and then Saturday the late inning kind of really pulled ahead and win 7-2, and Sunday the Sox dusted the Cardinals.
Well, it's hard to get a sweep, Brett. Oh, especially this year with the Cardinals. We don't need a sweep. You're just looking to win a series. But let's go ahead and get to a break. When we come back, it'll be time for Big Number of the Day.
Join the voice of the Tigers, Dave Woloshin, for Wolo and Friends. Weekday mornings from 10 to 11 here on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Are you looking for a better way to sell farm, construction, or fleet equipment? Purple Wave Auction takes the hassle out of selling heavy equipment. Our experienced auction professionals make the entire process easy, and we'll market each asset not just to our enormous equipment buying community, but specifically to the right bidders who are eager to purchase your specific assets. We'll handle the paperwork and payments so you can get back to running your business. Join the growing list of happy sellers who don't just sell but succeed with Purple Wave Auction. Straight, simple, sold.
Progressive asks, what do a middle school slumber party,
Let's stay up all night. Yeah!
a sleep-deprived girl, an early morning paper route, and a poorly thrown rolled-up newspaper have in common?
Hey, my window!
They can become a fast-breaking news story.
Sorry, Mr. Thompson.
Bundle your home and auto with Progressive for great savings and round-the-clock protection.
Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and other insurers. Not available in all states or situations.
As the seasons change, so does the need for reliable home comfort. It's time to turn to the experts with Choates, where your family's comfort is our top priority. Right now, Choates is making it easier than ever to upgrade your home's climate control with our exceptional Carrier systems. There's never been a better time to enhance your comfort. Select from incredibly low monthly payments, 36 months no interest financing, or choose our $1,650 Cool Cash rebate instead and lower the upfront cost on select Carrier systems. It's not just savings, it's cool cash in your pocket. Low monthly payments, no interest financing, or cool cash rebates? Whatever you choose, you're choosing quality, reliability, and the trusted service of Choates. Call us today at 347-8086 or visit ChoatesHVAC.com to learn more about these incredible savings. But hurry, these deals are as fleeting as a cool breeze on a hot day. Choates, let our family serve your family.
eBay Motors is here for the ride. 120,000 miles of night drives, daily commutes, and who knows how many.
Are we there yet?
Through countless fixes, elbow grease, and a new radiator, you kept your ride alive. With eBay Motors, you have over 122 million parts to keep it running. And with eBay Guaranteed Fit, they'll be the perfect fit every time. Plus, at these prices, well, we're burning rubber, not cash. Keep your ride or die alive at ebaymotors.com. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
Looking for a new show to dive into? Well, go to Hulu and see what's new, because Hulu has new stuff all the time, like the full season of FX's epic limited series Shogun, FX's new international spy thriller The Veil, starring Emmy and Golden Globe winner Elizabeth Moss, and don't miss the all-new crime series Under the Bridge, inspired by shocking true events and starring Riley Keough and Lily Gladstone. It's all new, and it's streaming right now on Hulu.
Come join your Memphis Showboats for our annual Hats Off to Heroes game on Sunday, May 26th at 1:30. All game long, we'll be honoring military members, first responders, healthcare workers, and teachers. If that's not enough to get to Simmons Bank Liberty Stadium, then we'll also throw in a free grill spatula with an etched Showboats logo while supplies last. On top of all this, tickets start at just $10 and are available at theufl.com. Memphis versus DC, Sunday, May 26th at 1:30. Go Boats!
Now back to Sports Time on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. Here once again are Brett Norsworthy and Bryant Dacus.
Big Daddy.
Hello, Big Brand. It's a guy, he wants to be big, then he gets big, he doesn't want to be big anymore, then he gets small, but the suit's too big.
Big Daddy.
The big boy.
You're a big guy. I think she's trying to pull a fast one on Big Daddy.
The big number of the day.
Well, Brett, today my big number comes from the NBA, and I think it's a good big number for today with this first game starting in the Eastern Conference Finals. My number today is the number 30. Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown, the two stars for the Boston Celtics, have scored 30-plus points in the same game 5 times against Indiana during their career. So 5 different regular season games, they've scored 30-plus points in the same game against Indiana. That is tied for the most such regular season games by any duo versus any team since the NBA-ABA merger, since Kobe Bryant and Shaquille O'Neal did it versus the Kings. How about that?
They were pretty good.
They were pretty good.
And that was that Kings Western Conference Finals that Michael Wilbon said was fixed.
Mm-hmm.
Was. The Kings just were not going to win.
That's right.
Also, a Memphis tie, and I've been texting with his dad, the mascot, the Celtics version of Grizz, the Leprechaun, is a Memphian.
Really?
A young man that's been with the Celtics now for 14 years. And has really done well. And,
wow.
And so
I did not
if you
know
want to
that.
The local angle, pull for the Celtics.
Pull for the Celtics.
Pull for him. And it's a really good story. And he's worked his tail off to get to where he's gotten to. And that is a hard night of work.
Oh, man. Tell me about it.
I'm always scared to death for them.
Oh, all the time.
With everything they do. My big number is 19. The Cardinals are 19-0 this year with a lead after 8 innings.
Look at them.
You know why?
Why's that?
Ryan Helsley, Henley, Hemsley, Heisley. He's got 14 saves.
He's been great.
That's tied for most in baseball.
How about that? He has been unbelievable.
Lights out.
It sure has.
Imagine if this team had hit any. And he had something to protect.
That's a good point. Imagine and look now. I mean, well, I guess don't look now. But what Jordan Hicks is doing over in San Francisco with the Giants, who was supposed to be the closer of the future for the Cardinals, now starting for San Francisco, doing a pretty good job. But now you get Helsley in there, and he's been doing a great job.
And so many of the Cardinal misses hit other places. Mm-hmm. Yeah, Sunday afternoon, your guy Liberatore really struggled.
Yep.
That was a deal that gave up a Arena.
Yes, that's right.
With Tampa Bay.
Yeah, the trades have not been kind to the Cardinals.
The deal for the good player with the Rangers, Aroldis
Garcia.
Yeah. That backfired. And some are going to, but
sure.
it feels like every one of them practically did.
Yeah, it feels like a lot. Well, Brett, I talk all the time. Right to your left in there on the wall, we've got a pennant is the Redbirds, and there's like 4 or 5 guys on that list. Adolis Garcia, one of them. I think Rosarena might be on there too, but there's like 3 or 4 guys that the Cardinals traded.
Tyler O'Neill.
And Tyler O'Neill. There's a good amount of guys on that pennant that the Cardinals have traded and have had success at their next team.
Did y'all give Leodwin Seabury proper credit for his prowess
in
the Preakness?
We did.
Win and place.
I didn't know about place. He told me that he got place too. I didn't know that.
Seize the Gray, Mystic Dan.
And Brett,
6 and 5 horse.
I got to pull a U. I think you did this last week with something else, or maybe a couple weeks ago. Believe it or not, I had Seize the Gray as my winner, written down, had it all day. Listening from early morning to the end, I heard so many people come on this station, go online and write stories and say, look, this Seize the Gray horse, he's a good horse, but man, if it starts raining, if it's a muddy track, he's not going to do well. So I go, all right, I'm going to take him completely off. He only goes out there and wins the whole thing. I mean, give me a break.
It was really muddy.
It sure was. So I don't know what they thought.
8-horse race, and we in our combinations between the 3 of us and Dick Girardi's picks, only the 4-horse was not in any of our top 4.
How about that? Wow.
We had every horse picked.
Yeah, Dick Girardi was giving some good information when he joined us on Friday about these horses.
Dan.
Yeah, he sure did. I think a lot of people hoping for Mystic Dan to get that. I tried to get some picks out of both Alan and Bruce, and both of them just said, I just hope Mystic Dan wins. I was like, yeah. I think we all do.
And for the sport, now with the Belmont, the third leg, it's not even going to be at Belmont Park. It's at Saratoga. I don't think the Preakness next year's at Pimlico. I think it's starting a big renovation.
Wow.
Really changing world out there. It's hard to keep people's attention if you don't have that Triple Crown threat.
Oh, yeah. No, absolutely. So we'll see. But, yeah, absolutely. A lot of credit to Leodwin for those picks.
One more Chip Carey story. So I had to tell him, like everybody with the onset of WTBS and the Braves on TV every game, whether you were, and I wasn't a fan, but I did like watching those games. And Ernie Johnson was part of them, and Pete Van Weeren and Dwayne Statz and John Sterling was a part of the cast. But Skip Carey was a big part. Mm-hmm. And I told Chip, I said, your dad's line, 2 great lines. Every time the team would, not every time, but a lot of nights going into the bottom of the 5th, he would say, as we enter another bottom of a 5th, like you were drinking.
Yeah.
But then invariably he said, close does count. Close counts in horseshoes, hand grenades, parallel parking, and slow dancing.
I love that.
That's
great.
Like you did.
That's great.
I said, I guarantee you, 9th grade cotillion, slow dancing counts.
That's right. Absolutely. Oh, that's so good. Well, let's go ahead and wrap up this hour and get to a break. When we come back, we're talking the NFL with Bo Marchant.
Looking for sports in all the wrong places? Try the Owner's Box Sports Bar and Grill in Lakeland Town Square. Fun, friendly, exciting, and comfortable with wall-to-wall TVs for all your favorite games, 24 taps for all your favorite beers, including NA and local craft beers, and an in-front-of-the-wall full bar for all your other favorite beverages, including a full wine list. Add in an upscale menu, patio seating, daily specials, and events, and you found all your sports in the one right place. The Owner's Box Sports Bar and Grill in Lakeland Town Square, Highway 70.
It's time to get to Gossett Kia on the Pike so Bobby J can put you in your new Kia today. Want summer fun and 41 MPG? We Gossett with 2024 Kia Forte LXS. $199 a month, $34.99 due at signing. How about 282 miles of EPA estimated range with new 2023 Kia EV6 Win, $249 a month. Get extra room and extra fun with 2024 Kia Telluride LX, $357 a month. Both $39.99 due at signing, all 24-month lease plus 0% APR for 48 months. Available on the all-new Kia EV9. And peace of mind with Kia's 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain limited warranty. So hurry to Gossett Kia, 1900 Covington Pike. Online, KiaCovingtonPike.com.
If you want it, we got it at Gossett Motor Cars.
Include all rebates and incentives. Price excludes $695 PF. Lease includes PF $695, $650 acquisition fee, EV6, P5610964, MSRP $50,200, Telluride RG $510,849, MSRP $38,305, Forte LXS RE $781,69, MSRP $21,820, plus finance through Hyundai, excludes tax title license. See dealer for complete details. Offer valid through 5/31/2024 with approved credit. Dealer stock only.
The 36th annual John Bull Bramlett Memorial Golf Classic is Tuesday, May 28th. This summer, Great Memphis Fellowship of Christian Athletes, or FCA, will have over 1,000 student athletes and coaches participating in camps. The funds raised from this golf tournament help send athletes to camp where they learn more about their sport as well as learning leadership skills while hearing the gospel of Jesus. For registration and sponsorship information, please visit memphisfca.org or email memphisfca@fca.org.
Brian Elder's Roofing Solutions.
It's silly season in the life of your roof. I'm Brian Elder, 867-0303. The weather can be unpredictable, and I'm ready to get more life out of your roof with our award-winning Owens Corning repair team. We're the repair guys the other repair guys call when they can't find the problem. Leaks become black mold when ignored. That's why when you call me, I start my inspection in the attic. Is it time for a beautiful new roof? 867-0303. I'll measure your roof from outer space and get you an estimate right over the phone. The best warranty in the business, including a warranty against ice dams. The only roofer in Memphis to offer a warranty against water intrusion due to snow buildup. Ask about military and first responder discounts. 901-867-0303 or BrianElderRoofing.com.
Call 867-0303. Brian Elder's Roofing Solutions.
To understand what makes Genesis Diamonds so different than other jewelry stores, you have to go back over 40 years to the diamond cutting capital of Tel Aviv, Israel. That's where Genesis owner Boaz Ramon grew up, in the center of the diamond universe. His connections with the best diamond cutters allowed him special access, giving rise to a thriving wholesale business here in the United States. Then, after a few years, this wholesaler changed the game and started selling these precious diamonds direct to the public at the same prices he had sold to the jewelry stores. The no middleman concept became an instant success. Today, Genesis Diamonds provides that extraordinary value to people right here in Middle Tennessee, leading the industry with the highest quality diamonds that still come straight from the best cutters, offered at the guaranteed best price of any jewelry store in America. Genesis Diamonds, a truly revolutionary concept with a unique history rooted in quality, committed to excellence, and always focused on value. Genesis Diamonds and luxury pre-owned Rolexes at Poplar and Perkins Extended.
Hey, Mid-South, I've got Marty McNade getting back to the past on these prices at Gossett Volkswagen Germantown.
This is heavy, Doc. I mean, Randy. Let's go with 42 MPG Highway and a 2024 Volkswagen Jetta SE for $249 a month. Or take your pick from a 2024 Tiguan S or 2024 Taos SE for only $279.28 a month.
Great Scott, McNade. You got it going on at Gossett Volkswagen Germantown on Winchester Road. Let me hit those deals again. 2024 Volkswagen Jetta SE, $249 a month, or take your pick. 2024 Tiguan S or Taos SE, $279.28 a month.
Your future is whatever you make of it, Randy, so let us help you make your future down here at Gossett Volkswagen Germantown. 7420 Winchester Road, or shop online at gossitvwg.com.
All 36-month lease, 7,500 miles per year, 20 cents excess mileage. Jetta number RMO 46526, MSRP 26,996. Tiguan RM 103,910, MSRP 31,363. Taos RM 00174, MSRP 31,414. Includes all credit and incentives. PF 695. Excludes DTNL. See dealer for complete details. With approved credit dealer stock only. Offer expires into the month.
Sports 56 traffic.
Good afternoon. It is really slow over here now. A lot of people are rubbernecking as they drive by this earlier crash on 40 eastbound before Sycamore View Road. It's caused a lot of problems behind it there. It's just crawling now, even more so on 240 East, trying to get up past Poplar, up to Walnut Grove. There it affected Sam Cooper as well as you get back up on the interstate there, coming off Sam Cooper. Again, this wreck is in its cleanup stages, but it's caused some problems over here on 40 eastbound at Sycamore View Road. Weimer's Jewelry, 7525. Highway 64 is your full-service, family-owned jewelry store here in Memphis. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
We are Sports 56, WHBQ Memphis, and W253DF Memphis, Flynn Broadcasting Stations.
National Football League talk every Tuesday with Bo Marchant, covering the NFL Draft at collegetopro.com and the NFL Draft Bible, covering the Steelers for Sports Illustrated, living and running in Eastern Ohio, and on Twitter X at Bo Marchant. Here's Bo with Bryant and Brett.
Bo Marchant joins us now to talk the NBA, and plenty to get to. But, Bo, last time we talked to you last Tuesday, we kind of knew a lot about the schedule, but we didn't have the official release of the schedules. That came Wednesday night. What did you make of the schedules? Did anything really stick out to you, or was it just kind of, okay, we have the schedules now, let's move on? What did you make of it?
Well, you know what? When I look at the schedule, to be honest with you, I looked at the later part of the schedule, like Week 17, Lions at 49ers. You're talking about two NFC predominant teams that we're going to look at like these are Super Bowl teams playing late in the season. So those are a couple games that I looked at. I think Bills and Chiefs, when you got Josh Allen and Patrick Mahomes, they have never ceased to deliver super awesome football games. But those are a couple of the games that really kind of popped off the tape or the schedule, if you will, for me.
Bo, I'm with you. I work backwards, too, because we know early in the season, injuries probably, unless you just have that big Aaron Rodgers type injury, you don't have the attrition, you don't have the wear and tear injuries early in the season, and the weather is pretty benign at most places. You might have the monsoon like we had a few years ago to open the season at Soldier Field for the 49ers and the Bears, but most of the time it's pretty nice. I work backwards as well, and I looked at Detroit in that San Francisco game. That's one of only 3 games Detroit will play outside next year. And if they don't have the 1 seed in the NFC, if they get thrown into a real cold weather game somewhere in the playoffs, that they could have a tough time. They do go to Green Bay in early November, but it's a lot of difference going to Green Bay in early November than it is in late January.
It is, and Brett, we've talked a lot about this a lot, and to think about the Detroit Lions on Lake Erie, they're northeast, and to think about a team from the northeast actually maybe suffering the consequences of not being prepared to play in the outdoors. It does. It makes me want to find like a little crevice and cry, because that's the way we're going, and it's going to be all dome stadiums. And, just the idea of a team and the National Football League playing in the snow is going to be an afterthought for maybe not this generation, but maybe the next generation. And it's crazy to think that what you just said is coming to fruition here in 2024.
14 games in the cozy of either fixed roof or retractable. Okay, if it's nice, they might open up the retractable, so it's no tread off the tires. If it's bad, they're closing it for the fans, for the paying customers. So they're going to be sitting there in just almost idyllic conditions 14 out of 17 games. In that division, we talked about this last Thursday after the schedule was really released. That was once the consummate outdoor division. Playing in the mud at Wrigley Field, playing in the cold at Soldier Field, playing at County Stadium in Milwaukee, playing at Lambeau, playing at Tiger Stadium, playing at Metropolitan in Minneapolis. And the Lions, for a long time, Tiger Stadium was like the stadium in Minneapolis at the Metropolitan Stadium, where both teams were on the same sideline.
It was. And since I guess we're on the topic of outdoor, indoor games, I remember Peyton Manning's first Super Bowl against the Bears. It rained, but subsequently, Peyton Manning, Jeff Saturday, his center. I'm gonna fabricate the numbers here, but he took 6,000 practice snaps with a wet football in preparation for being the best prepared person on the field.
Had wet ball practice all week, and they're going, Peyton, it has never snowed or never rained ever at a Super Bowl. He said it could in Miami rain the whole day, and they had wet ball practice all week.
Yep, and it did, and that's to me, and that's kind of that's where I look at it. This is the people who put the extra time in. A Peyton Manning, the folks who really pay attention to what's going on. Change your cleats. How deep is your cleat going to go into the mud? Those are the little things. And when you have it pretty, and listen, I'm going to really go off topic. I am a big F1 fan. And Felipe Massa drove for Ferrari. If he went on pole and you put him as the first car and it was sunshine, he would finish first. If a little rain came, Felipe Massa was not the best driver on the track. And I do think the elements present that same kind of challenge. And to think that golf, baseball are some of the games that we still can see outside, and we are protruding to a period in the National Football League where revenue and stadiums and the revenue of those stadiums are the consequence, the on-field action. It does break my heart as an old school person, but the new generation, they won't ever think nothing of it. They will look at the frozen tundra as a thing as, why did you even want to go there? And they might be right. But again, as a purist, I guess as an old school person, in 50, it breaks my heart to even have this conversation.
And we got 2 more domes on the way. We know the Bears are going to go to, and that's going to be fixed roof. That's not even retractable. And the Titans are going to retractable. I mean, we're going to look up. You add. We're going to have those 2. You add 1 or 2 more. Something new in Kansas City. Something new in. Oh, heck, we're D.C. That sure could happen. You have those. I mean, we're down to about 6 or 7 outdoor stadiums.
Yeah,
and they're in Florida.
Right now, yeah.
I mean, it's not going to snow in Miami.
Well, and I joke with you guys at the beginning of the season, and unfortunately, I mean, it's just the process of nature. But hurricane season is sometimes at the beginning of the NFL season.
Sure is.
And sometimes games. And I love how we make such a big issue that late in January or February that it's snowing in Buffalo, but we're succumbed to the idea that a hurricane in Miami or New Orleans or anywhere on the Gulf Coast or Atlantic, or it could be on the Pacific, that is just, okay, that's status quo. It's a hurricane. It's okay.
All right.
But snow in December and January in football season is absurd. We really got to recheck our checks and balances here.
I went to your December schedule for the team you cover, and you're covering OTAs as we speak.
Right.
And as we speak on SportsCenter, showing Justin Fields back in the pocket, looking good, wearing uniform number 2. Is that Justin Fields wearing number 2?
He is wearing number 2.
Look out.
Looking good. So the December own schedule for the Pittsburgh Steelers. Sunday, December 1st, Steelers play in Cincinnati against the Bengals. We know what that'll be like. The 8th, home against the Browns. The 15th, on the road at Philly, in-state rivalry. The 21st, on the road at Baltimore. Christmas Day, the 25th. they play Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs, and then the one game after the new calendar year begins at home against the Bengals. That's brutal.
It's a brutal end of the scheduled season. I guess if you're looking at it, is a benefit to the Steelers is by the time you get to that point, you hope that Tomlin and all the coaches, the staff, have everything in place for them to be successful, that they've figured out what they need to do, who needs to be where, and what direction they're going. If they're 4-4 or 3-5 at that point when that stretch comes, and it's probably one of the most popular things about Mike Tomlin right now that he's never had a losing season. But if they're 3-5 going into that stretch, as you mentioned, Brett, it's going to be really tough for Coach Tomlin to kind of continue that streak. But I'm going to say this. Last year at this point, when they were really suffering and the wins were a lot less than the losses, he somehow managed to get that team back on track. But it's not a friendly end of the season schedule for the Pittsburgh Steelers. But it does give them time to kind of develop a continuity, if you will, and kind of find out where they're going to go with this current roster.
Well, Brett mentioned Justin Fields on ESPN, but what does Russell Wilson look like today? I saw you posted a picture of him on your Twitter page. It's finally the Russell Wilson era with the Steelers. What do you look like today?
You know what? I mean, it's OT days.
Sure.
It's OTAs. It's day one. I mean, shorts and shirts but you know, it's remarkable how small he is and how successful he has been. And I have to say, I will not say who, and if he's listening, he'll never talk to me again. But one of the reporters walked past and they said, he's too small. Now, and I thought, and they were referring to Russell Wilson, and the only thing I thought to myself is, this is a Super Bowl winning quarterback, a guy who's been up for consideration.
Really should be two-time winning Super Bowl.
This isn't a rookie that we haven't seen yet.
Yeah.
This isn't a guy that's an unknown commodity. This is Russell Wilson. But nonetheless, first day, it's getting acclimated to everybody. It's kind of like your first day of school. You're finding out who your best friend's going to be. You're finding out who you're going to hang out with. And that's how I take it. He made some good passes. It's about getting connected, just like Justin Fields. I mean, Justin Fields did some nice things. And there were some plays where you're like, And the only reason I digress from kind of exploiting what I saw was there's so many OTA rules that you can get in trouble for just saying that Justin Fields was on the field. So and listen, it's a crazy set of scenarios, but that's where we're at with NFL rules, and I just want to apply. But nonetheless, some good things and some bad things. Now, I usually say so many bad things, but you saw some good things from both QBs. And Justin Fields did say post-game or post-practice in the locker room that he loves the relationship with Russell Wilson, but he is there to compete for the starting job.
Yeah,
even though he might know that he is the number two, he is going in it with the mindset that he is the number one, and a friendly competition, as all QB competitions in the National Football League. But to see these guys up close and in person, Justin is he's a little bit shorter than he looks on the field, but he's a lot thicker, and his thigh base, his waistband, in terms of those hips, very wide, and you could kind of see that's where he gets that explosiveness, and where he gets that leg strength. And those are some of the things that I guess on the backside of the scout stuff, where you get to see these guys up close. You kind of start to see the player in front of you, and that does break it down a lot of what you're looking at moving forward.
Bo, the Steelers, they bring in Russell Wilson after the terrible year he had last year, both on the field, and it felt like the dynamic off the field with Sean Payton wasn't great. I wonder which one of those two, maybe it could be neither, it could be both, Sean Payton or Russell Wilson, that last year hangs with them longer. Does it stick more to Russell Wilson or to Sean Payton?
You know what? I think they're going to forget each other easily. I think I'm not sold, and listen, this is where we kind of get caught up in the cycle of you like something, and then until it's dead, you won't give it up. And that's where I am with Russell Wilson. I still think there's not say a lot left, but a good amount left in Russell Wilson's tank to be successful. And on the flip side, whatever Sean Payton wanted to do didn't work out. But it really does seem that he got a guy in Bo Nix, who they drafted in the first round, that they really love, that Sean Payton feels that he can develop into the guy that he's been coveting since the Drew Brees days in New Orleans. So I think if everybody ends up happy, Russell Wilson, he's going to prove that he wasn't washed up, and he just needed a system and a coach that believed in him, and he'll forget about Sean Payton. And on the Sean Payton side, he's not going to worry about Russell Wilson's doing. He's going to worry about his rookie Bo Nix, who he's developing, and if he comes to fruition, he's going to be extremely happy knowing that he enters year 2 in Denver with a quarterback that he can develop.
That's the happiest ending for them both to kind of move on and see you when I see you. But you're right about Russell Wilson, Super Bowl winning quarterback. Oh, by the way, beat Peyton Manning when the Broncos were a heavy favorite in the cold weather outdoor New York City MetLife Stadium Super Bowl, and should have won it again if they just run the ball on the goal line with Seattle over New England. They didn't. Super Bowl winning quarterbacks, is he the most picked apart one-time Super Bowl winning quarterback ever? I mean, I'm not counting guys like Jeff Hostetler and Trent Dilfer because they were really just functionaries. But I mean, he was a primary piece to that Seattle success.
Well, I'm going to say one thing before I answer that question. For you Sports 56 Memphis radio fans, what the host just said was a brilliant, brilliant question.
Oh, boy, that's nice.
Yes,
Thank you.
he is. He's the one-time Super Bowl champion quarterback who's probably most scrutinized. And as you mentioned, the Trent Dilfers, the Hostellers, those guys were kind of they're not really
Brad
the
Johnson,
guys. Brad Johnson. Russell Wilson was the guy in Seattle. We could say Marshawn Lynch was the guy running the ball, but you still need a quarterback. And when Russell Wilson developed, and how many times was he in consideration for the MVP of the league? Not of the week, not the best player in the NFC, the MVP of the league. That just shows you the caliber of player he is. So
I mean, we talk about him like he's Joe Kapp or Craig Morton.
Yeah, and that's why when I laughed, I'm telling you, when somebody walked past me today and said, "Look at him, he's too small," and I'm
wild.
like, "This isn't rookie camp with a guy we've never seen before. This is a one-time, possibly two-time Super Bowl winning quarterback." Like, I think the Steelers know what they have, and on the Steelers, the idea, listen, if everything goes right, and you're talking about an amount of right. Russell Wilson is great. And Justin Fields, you won't even know if Russell Wilson plays that great because you'll never see Justin Fields. But somehow, if you see both of them and they both play outstanding, it's a success for the Steelers. And if not, they're both one-year kind of trial runs. And the worst, I guess, case scenario for Pittsburgh is you kind of got to hope to re-sign one of them and go back to the draft board and find a free agent quarterback. Or go back to the draft. So that's where Pittsburgh is right now. You hope for the best and you think of the best, but the worst is there, and it's very realistic that it might not end up as they wish.
Yeah. Bo, last thing for you. I mentioned NFL Live. We were watching it earlier. I also saw they were talking about Pittsburgh bidding for the NFL draft in the future. What do you see a city like Pittsburgh hosting the draft? How do you think it would do? What do you think of that idea of Pittsburgh hosting the draft? We saw a great turnout this year in Detroit. I remember a couple years back when it was, here in Tennessee and Nashville, really good. Where would they put it? What do you think about the draft going to Pittsburgh?
I think it would be dynamic. When you think of the city of Pittsburgh, it's not only about, Pittsburgh Steelers. It's about the Pitt Panthers. Mm-hmm. And then I guess you get to the baby birth of it in high school football. And I think that's where it really resonates. And the game of football itself, Joe Namath in Beaver Falls,
Western PA,
Dan Marino of football. And
Joe Montana.
That's what I mean. Joe Montana.
Mike Ditka. Tony Dorsett.
Ditka. There you go. Keep going. Keep going.
I mean, it is.
Yeah, and I think that's where the
Did we name Johnny U in there?
Yeah. Was he successful? Brett,
yeah, he was pretty good in the high top.
Yeah.
Had bad footwear, but he could sling it.
And I believe he was actually drafted by the Steelers, but let go.
That's correct.
Yeah, so it just shows you that, every scouting department can make mistakes. But I think it would be a success. And as we see the tremendous amount of support that Detroit did, I think as the draft goes from city to city, I think every city and the fan base is going to go almost as a rivalry if they were playing on Sunday, as they're going to look to put that on themselves to say, you know what, Detroit, I don't know the numbers, I'm just throwing this, to say we had 500,000 fans. Well, you know what, we're the city of Pittsburgh, we're going to have 600,000. And hypothetically, if it goes off to, Kansas City, I know it was there last year, but just say it goes off to whatever, Green Bay.
Back to New York.
They're going to want 1 million. Yeah, back to New York. It's these fan bases of those teams, I really do believe, are going to want to put it on themselves to say, hey, we're the Pittsburgh Steelers fan base. We're the most passionate fan base in the world. Now, I'm going to hold, and because I was in Cleveland for their draft, and it was 30-some degrees. It was sleazy rain, snow, miserable conditions. So you could see where that would be fraudulent to the true identity of a fan base. I don't want to throw Cleveland out. Yeah. But if it's a nice weekend in April, end of April in Pittsburgh, I think the Pittsburgh fans will show up.
Yeah, well, I hope Pittsburgh gets it. I think that would be a lot of fun.
I'm glad you were at football practice
man.
today.
Oh, it made me so happy seeing all the pictures and videos on your Twitter page. That was awesome.
I would walk to Oxford right now for the first day of football practice.
I'm telling you guys, to be down there today, it does. It just rejuvenates your soul. I talk about free agency and the draft, but once you get that rookie camp and OTAs, and you just know that training camp is right there on the horizon. We got a month break, and then, but man, once training camp gets here, just sign your letter to the 2024 season because you are fully entrenched in the National Football League.
It's here. Bo, thank you so much.
Thanks,
Great
Bo.
stuff.
Yep, have a great day, guys. Stay safe.
You too. Have a great week. Bo Marchant with us every week talking the National Football League. He mentioned the potential for success with Bo Nix in Denver with Sean Payton. Sean Payton wanted Bo Nix, got him, great quarterback coach, what he did with Drew Brees, what he did with the Saints. Do you realize how much fun the next 3 or 4 years, if Bo Nix is successful as a Denver Bronco, I'm going to have reminding everyone of that total fraud Gus Malzahn?
Oh, man. Brett, I mean, we all said, Bo Nix, not a good quarterback. Have fun in the Pac-12. Go somewhere else. You're not an SEC quarterback.
Right.
And then goes out there and thrives with Oregon. Ran out of
his dad's school.
Absolutely.
His mom and dad's school.
Yeah. And then, which, Brett, I did not even know. How did I not know this? His father was head coach of Henderson State, my favorite D2 school.
Bo was born in Arkadelphia.
Yeah, I didn't know that until right before the draft, and it was hometown in Arkadelphia, Arkansas. I was like, you're kidding. Why in the world would he be born in Arkadelphia, Arkansas, and then learned that his dad was the head coach at Henderson State?
Patrick wasn't great in those years there as head coach, but he was there.
Still the Reddies. How about that? But no, I mean, thrives at Oregon now, gets his shot, still people doubting him to be an NFL quarterback. But yeah, I hope he gets a lot of success so you can have that laugh.
And Gus did nothing with him.
No.
And I said there were a lot of times the look, I don't know this, it was just me surmising this.
Sure.
You could look at Bo Nix and you could see the look on his face, and he was thinking, I had better coaching in the backyard from my dad
100%.
than I'm getting from Gus Malzahn.
Yes. I mean, it just did nothing with him.
Yeah, and I'm intentionally saying it, Malzahn.
Yes.
Man.
But you don't dislike the guy. I mean.
Oh, yeah, I do too. A lot.
A lot,
and just the number he did on Houston Nutt and on the Arkansas fans in pitting really Central Arkansas, Little Rock against Northwest Arkansas and all that in recruitment of those players in Springdale. And how did all of them turn out?
Yeah, that's a good point.
Have we checked on them lately?
No, we have not.
Have we checked on Mitch Mustaine lately?
I don't think you need to.
I wonder when the last time Gus did.
Ooh. Last time, yeah,
I would love to ask him that because you rode him all the way to an SEC offensive coordinator job and then beyond.
That's right.
When's the last time you just called and checked on him as a person? It might have been 10 minutes ago.
Well,
his answer could be what Mr. Hotshot is about 45 minutes ago. I did.
Well,
okay. I'd love to know.
Sure, yeah, but I bet if he was telling the truth, it'd probably be a long time ago. But let's go ahead and get to a break. When we come back, we'll talk about what's trending.
Broadcasting from the Family Leisure Studio, we are Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Rick's Powder Coating for a beautiful finish every time. Rick's Powder Coating specializes in automotive, ornamental, residential, and industrial coating. With 2 conveyor lines and the largest batch ovens in the Mid-South, Rick's can accommodate all of your powder coating needs. Locally owned and operated since 2002, Rick's Powder Coating will customize a beautiful finish just for you. Drop by or call to see how Rick's Powder Coating can bring color to your life. 901-367-2771 or rickspowdercoating.com.
When it's time for a brake job, go with a solution that delivers one of the smoothest and most quiet rides on the road. Napa Silent Guard brakes. Made with fiber-reinforced shims that eliminate noise for the life of the pad. Rubber-coated hardware for a better fit on 99.5% of vehicles. And quality design that meets and exceeds OE performance. Napa Silent Guard brakes deliver the stopping power and performance drivers demand in their vehicles. Available now at Napa locations nationwide.
Get ready because the Gossett Mitsubishi Motors Summer Sales Event is on, and now is the best time to buy. You want 43 MPG Highway? We Gossett in 2024 Mitsubishi Mirage, $18,960 or $279 a month. 2024 Mitsubishi Outlander Sport, we Gossett, $27,350 or $399 per month. And your summer adventure starts with 2024 Mitsubishi Outlander SE, we Gossett, $29,865 or $449 a month. Plus, every Gossett Mitsubishi comes with Mitsubishi's 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain limited warranty. That's Gossett Mitsubishi, 1870 Covington Pike, online 24/7 at memphismitsubishi.com.
If you want it, we got it at Gossett Motor Cars.
Mirage RHFO 9083, MSRP 19460, Sport RUO 110 764, MSRP 28070, Outlander RZO 53896, MSRP 30895, PF 695, acquisition fee 595, 15 cents excess mileage, excludes tax, title, and license. See dealer for complete details. Offer valid to end of the month with approved credit dealer stock only.
You know, one thing we never talk about is how family-friendly Central Barbecue is.
Always has been.
At any Central Barbecue location.
And there are a lot of them.
You know your kids will have a good time and a great meal.
The kids' menu is perfect.
Everything from a grilled cheese to a junior barbecue sandwich to a hot dog, junior chicken sandwich, or classic mac and cheese, and they all come with a side and a small drink, all at a great price.
You just left me with literally nothing to say about kids at Central Barbecue.
I was just trying to be thorough.
You covered everything. What am I supposed to talk about?
The parking?
You just sold the whole commercial.
Memorial Day weekend is coming, which means many folks will be grilling. And if you're firing up the grill this weekend or any weekend, there's one place to go for everything you need: Memphis Barbecue Supply. You need charcoal? They have 10 different brands of either lump or briquette charcoal. Pellets? How about over 2 tons in stock? 12 different flavors and blends. Looking for wood for smoking? Memphis Barbecue Supply has 9 different types of wood in chips, chunks, mini logs, and logs. You can even mix and match your wood from their bins of loose chunks. Whatever it is that you're grilling, steaks, ribs, burgers, pork butts, you name it, they have over 378 different rubs, sauces, injections, and raw spices to make sure your food tastes great. If you have any questions, they have award-winning pitmasters on staff that can help ensure that your cook will be the best ever. Memphis Barbecue Supply, 7041 Stage Road, or online, mbbqsupply.com.
Sports 56 traffic.
Good afternoon. They're still trying to clean up a couple of earlier accidents. It remains slow go over here sometimes on 240 east and westbound. At Poplar, eastbound's been extra slow this afternoon, trying to get not only past Poplar but up to Walnut Grove, all from an earlier crash we had on 40 eastbound near Sycamore View Road that really aggravated all that traffic flow that was normally slow anyway there on 240 eastbound. Hey, 24/7 reliable crane and rigging services right here in the Memphis area. Tomahawk Crane and Rigging. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
Now back to Sports Time on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. Here once again are Brett Norsworthy and Bryant Dacus.
Welcome back into Sports Times. We got about 30 minutes left in today's show. We're in our Family Leisure Studios, and a lot to talk about during this segment. Brett, you came in here during the break and saw I've got on my iPad
impressive
UCF and Cincinnati in the first round of the Big 12 conference tournament.
That says Big 12, doesn't it?
Sure does. Yeah, nothing screams Big 12 like UCF and Cincinnati.
At Globe Life Field in
Globe Life Field in Arlington, correct. One of the weirder games I've seen in a long time. I think UCF, until the fourth inning, had scored one run in all three innings. And I'm pretty sure in every one of those innings had a man on second and third with one or two outs. So this game could be 6-0 right now. I don't even know if Cincinnati's gotten a hit yet. But I did love that somehow in their first conference tournament in baseball, somehow we were able to get UCF versus Cincinnati in a Big 12 conference tournament.
Today and tomorrow, some really long days of college baseball.
Some long days. I know the American tournament started early this morning at 8 a.m. down in Florida.
8 o'clock Central or 8 Eastern?
8 o'clock Central.
Okay. So that's still real early.
9 a.m. There, I believe, down in Florida. So
I don't know any sports. It's really a 9 o'clock in the morning sport.
No. But yeah, a lot of games starting at 9. No, SEC down in Hoover started 9:30 this morning was first pitch. So you're right. In those games, I mean,
they're pretty on time in Hoover so far.
They've been doing good so far. So hopefully we don't get a long game here with this Florida and Vandy game. I don't know. I haven't checked in on that
weather
game
so far.
Yeah, it's a beautiful day in
the
Hoover.
SEC. Feels to me like we're on a collision course in Omaha.
Sure.
Of Tennessee and Arkansas.
It definitely feels like it. I think Arkansas has been really, really good this year. Tennessee.
That will be.
Yeah.
Loser leaves the world between Vitello and
Sure.
David
Oh, yeah.
Horn.
Oh, absolutely. I kind of hope we get that. I mean, that would be
that's
fun.
That's Tommy Rich and Jerry Law.
Sure, absolutely. And don't forget about Texas A&M. I think
there'll
could be
a
right
chain
there.
pulled out.
Sure. Oh, get ready. Someone's going to pull a chain out. Third base
Lance,
box.
I think he's got a chain.
That's right. Yeah. So I love these conference tournaments. It's going to be really fun next couple of days as we watch these. But tonight we get the start of the conference finals in the Eastern Conference. Boston and Indiana.
That's what I'm going to be watching a lot of tonight.
That's
going
to be fun.
For baseball.
Yeah.
Again, I'm not going to throw down with anybody. I just, for Indiana never having won
Sure.
it, and I don't think they're going to. I picked Boston.
Sure.
And I picked Boston in the preseason, I think, to find those. But if the Celtics go on and win it, that'd be okay.
Yeah, no, I think, in terms of teams that I'm just like, I would be so mad if they win the NBA Finals. First off, that list is not very long. But second, they're all gone. And so I'm cool with any of these teams winning it. For Boston, I know you have some really good players. I know Jason Tatum has some ties here to Memphis. You mentioned I did not know about their mascot that has ties to Memphis, from Memphis. So, yeah, I would not mind at all if Boston won.
My basketball picks are in the Friday football forecast notebook.
Wow, how about that?
That's why I don't have them.
So not with you right now.
Not with me.
Who would have thought that you would have needed to pull them out
I could
today?
say anybody.
That's right.
I had I still can't find them.
Huh.
I don't know where that notebook is.
I don't even know. I could probably find mine from way back when. But
on the champions of the 21st century, we have Boston. Well, they've done that.
Sure.
We have Indiana. They haven't. On the western side, we have Dallas. They have. Minnesota hadn't. We could have a Dallas-Boston final. They've never met in the NBA Finals, and that would keep the NBA at 11 different teams for the 21st century. If it's Indiana, if it's Minnesota, we go to 12.
Wow, how about that?
And NBA's usually not adding a lot of new teams, but you added Denver last year getting their first. You had Milwaukee getting their first 21st century title a few years back. You had Toronto in 2019. You had Cleveland getting one, even Dallas back to the one they've got. So they've added some new teams, and the only shot for a new one this year would be if it's Indiana or Minnesota.
Sure. Brett, I just found my my NBA predictions from before the season started, and I had the Celtics making the NBA Finals. Did not have them winning it, though.
Losing to Lakers?
Mm-mm.
Memphis?
Mm-mm.
Phoenix.
Phoenix Suns.
Yeah.
I had them losing
Phoenix
to the
popular.
Phoenix Suns. I mean, this is all over the place. My West. Nuggets number 1 seed. Okay, that's fine. You know, they just barely missed being the number 1 seed at the end of the season. Suns 2, Kings 3, Warriors 4. Yeah. Good Lord.
Mine will look like that too when I find them.
Clippers 5. That's not too far off. Grizzlies 6, Pelicans 7, Mavs 8, Lakers 9, Thunder all the way back at number 10. How about that? I have the Pacers. Finishing 13th in the East.
They did a little better than that.
A little bit.
We have 1, 3, 5, and 6. Is that seeds that made it?
I don't know.
Yeah. So a little bit of a surprising conference finals. I like it.
Sure. No, I like it as well. I think this is gonna be fun. I think I mentioned it earlier. I think what the Mavs and the Timberwolves have done in these really competitive series that we've had so far. I know Dallas has really had to go through it in both series. Minnesota made it look easy that first round, and then I mentioned earlier, down so big in Game 7, but able to come all the way back, keep that lead, and win that game on the road. I thought was huge. So I'm really, really looking forward to the Western Conference, but the Eastern Conference will be fun too, and I want to see if Boston can be challenged before they get to the NBA Finals.
We, as a marketplace, be real careful here. I'm going to speak for the whole marketplace.
Good luck.
Look out. We collectively are pulling for Mike Conley.
Yes. Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Anybody pulling for Xavier Tillman?
I don't.
Does he ever play?
Brett, I was just about to say, I think there's a lot of people that might forget Xavier Tillman's even a Celtic.
Yeah.
Because that's kind of how I was. It's like, I love it. One of my buddies would text me like constantly. He'd be like once or twice a day for the first like week and a half of the Major League Baseball season. And he's a big, massive baseball fan. And he would just text me randomly and be like, this guy's a Dodger now? This guy's a Cub? Like, when did this happen? And it was so funny. It became a joke.
Get ready for that in college football.
Sure. Oh, absolutely. But it became like an inside joke of like, oh, this guy. And so I was texting him like right when the NBA playoffs were starting. And they would pan over to like the Suns bench. And I'd be like, oh, what's our David Roddy? David Roddy's a Sun. Who knew? And then same thing with the Celtics. They'd get over to the bench and I'd see Tillman over there. I go, wow, Xavier Tillman's a Celtic. Who knew? I mean, it's just unfortunately those guys, are not for Tillman with Boston, and were not for the Suns. They're just not getting time. At all.
We waited. You could have brought it up anytime you wanted to, and we'd have talked about it, but we're at 5:40.
Yeah.
20 minutes to go of a show, and we hadn't brought this up yet. Did it matter to you at all, a little, not at all, what, about Penny Hardaway on the podcast talking about that he dreams every day?
Yeah.
His words, not mine, every day about being a head coach in the NBA.
Yeah, no, it's interesting. I think there were a lot of things that kind of jumped out in that podcast that I thought were really interesting. We talked yesterday about him talking about his relationship with Shaquille O'Neal and kind of almost like had some bitterness when Shaq went to L.A. and that dynasty that he formed with Kobe and all the success he had of kind of like, that could have been us. We could have been doing that together. But yeah, I mean, I think if you're trying to tell yourself that Penny Hardaway no way wants to be an NBA coach, has never wanted to be an NBA coach, that'd be foolish, because we know in the past, since getting the Memphis head coaching job, that he has been vocal. He's tried to get interviews. He has interviewed for I know with the Magic when that came open.
Orlando flirted.
Certainly, and did that, and he's been kind of vocal about that kind of want of maybe one day becoming an NBA coach. So he said in this podcast, and I think that will definitely draw attention. But I think certainly there are coaches that want to be college coaches, and there are coaches that want to be NBA coaches. And I think Penny Hardaway is certainly maybe one of those that wouldn't mind being an NBA coach.
And I don't know when I first said it, but excuse me, I'm going to say, I'm sorry. Hold on just a second.
No, you're good, because I'll even bring up something else that Penny
I'm good.
Please, yes.
Clear thing.
Good.
I'm going to say about 2 years in that I made the comment on these airwaves that the college coaching that he signed up for had already changed radically. It has really changed since I first said that 2 years in. So that would have been about 20, 21 or so, 22 at the very latest. Light years just from then. I can see him getting somewhere next year in the middle of the year, this is not even fun anymore.
Yeah. It's so different.
I think there's an aspect to it now. Now, what I'm going to say this kindly and gently about him, even there, though, and he knows this. He knows this. They're going to expect accomplishment.
Sure.
They're going to expect achievement. They're going to expect him to win something significant. He has not won anything of very much significance here.
Yeah. That's a good point. I could see it. And I mean, and honestly, I think there are coaches out there that can be good NBA coaches. And there are coaches that can be good college coaches. And sometimes the coaches that can be good NBA coaches are not good college basketball coaches, and the ones that can be
Quinn Snyder.
Quinn Snyder's a really good one. I think Stackhouse got a lot of criticism at Vanderbilt, and his name has been in the mix for a couple of NBA
think he could
jobs.
Make a good NBA head coach.
He could. There are just some guys that, and you talk about the differences now with college basketball. It's changed so much in just a couple of years. And so, maybe Penny Hardaway finds himself in that spot where he thinks, I don't want to go out and try to recruit all of these kids and try to do all of the handshaking, everything. If I could get somewhere where I could be an NBA coach.
But he badly wanted it at one time. But it did change on him.
Sure, absolutely. So who knows? I did see that. I also saw
this current construct of college coaching, football and basketball, may not be for a lot of people.
No, you're absolutely right about that. But I also saw one thing that another thing that jumped out to me during that podcast that he was on was talking about Ashton and kind of him coming to Memphis and now committing to St. Mary's. And Penny Hardaway said, quite frankly, that it was almost kind of forced on Ashton to go to Memphis, and they kind of pushed him to going to Memphis, and that he said he felt a little guilty for bringing Ashton to Memphis.
That's really candid.
Very candid, and that he just never got comfortable here, and really wanted to be back in California, where he spent a lot of his life, and so that was really, really interesting to hear. So some good stuff on that podcast that Penny Hardaway was on earlier this week. But let's go ahead and get to our final break of the day. When we come back, wrap up today's show with Taco Bell Crunch Time.
You already know you can listen to Sports 56 anywhere with the Sports 56 app or at sports56whbq.com. But you can also watch us daily with live video of all of our shows on Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch.
There are many real estate companies out there, but then there's Banyan Tree Realtors on the Collierville Town Square. There are hands-on, family-owned boutique real estate companies whose agents have been offering exceptional attention to their clients for over 40 years. In an ever-changing world, Banyan Tree continues to maintain a small-town personal charm while providing a worldwide connection through its internet marketing presence. Personal service will never go out of style at Banyan Tree Realtors. Their agents are people you can trust, offering service you deserve. From residential homes to commercial properties, farmland, land lots, and historical houses, Banyan Tree has the expertise you can rely on. So if you're downsizing, upsizing, moving in, or moving on, give Banyan Tree Realtors a call today. Craig Smith and Mary Jean Smith and their agents are ready to serve you. Call today at 901-620-8920 or 901-359-2520.
Memphis Public Links has so much going on right now. Audubon is right around the fairway. Wait until you see when this thing is a finished product. Fox Meadows is in great shape. The links at Pine Hill is now a masterpiece of a place to play, as are really all the other Memphis public golf courses. Galloway is playing like a championship course. They just finished the 75th year of the OPO, and Overton Park is now talked about in that layout all across the state. And by the way, folks, it's so easy to make a tee time. The hard part is getting your buddies to pick their time. You go online to memphispubliclinks.com, select your course, then grab your tee time. Simple, easy, and incredibly convenient. Also, on the website is a schedule of upcoming events. There you'll find something that will interest you. Again, if you want to book a tee time or find out more about tournaments or other events at any of the great Memphis public golf courses, go online to memphispubliclinks.com.
Are you looking for a better way to sell farm, construction, or fleet equipment? Purple Wave Auction takes the hassle out of selling heavy equipment. Our experienced auction professionals make the entire process easy, and we'll market each asset not just to our enormous equipment buying community, but specifically to the right bidders who are eager to purchase your specific assets. We'll handle the paperwork and payments so you can get back to running your business. Join the growing list of happy sellers who don't just sell but succeed with Purple Wave Auction. Straight, simple, sold.
At Jason's Deli, when you're dining in or picking up curbside, you can expect wholesome food and no surprises, just delicious sandwiches, crisp salads, and quick quality meals made with the freshest ingredients and no artificial trans fats, MSG, high fructose corn syrup, or artificial colors and dyes. Around here, a lot of thought goes into what we put into our food and what we take out of it, because you're not just taking a bite, you're getting a taste of who we are. New items are constantly being created to expand our menu for all tastes and special diets with vegan and gluten-free options available. Convenience and on-time delivery you can count on. It's just a click away at jasonsdeli.com, so whether you need to feed 5 people or 5,000, the team at Jason's Deli, they have the credentials and the commitment to keep you satisfied. Freshness is nearby at Jason's Deli with locations at Ridgeway in the Park Place Center, Poplar and Highland, Germantown Road in Cordova, and on Goodman Road in Olive Branch. Jason's Deli. It's wholesome food and no surprises.
This is hard to believe, but the Hyundai Santa Fe is actually better. I know, that's crazy, isn't it? The 2024 Santa Fe is new, top to bottom, and even better than before. It's almost as big as the Palisade, so roomy, and now it's got a standard third row. Everybody's clamoring for that. And it's the best SUV when it comes to the ride than ever before. You know how with SUVs you love it because you're sitting high, but you don't get that luxury kind of ride like a sedan? You do with the 2024 Santa Fe. It's the best riding SUV ever, and it's quiet. It's the ultimate family car. All you've got to do to be sold is to test drive it. The people at Homer Skelton Hyundai are saying, come try it. You'll love it. Homer Skelton Hyundai, right at the corner of Highway 78 and Craft Road. First exit in Mississippi. Go see the ultimate SUV, the 2024 Santa Fe.
Now back to Sports Time on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. Here once again are Brett Norsworthy and Bryant Dacus.
This is pretty cool, and we're just getting started, so.
Go crazy, folks! Go crazy! This is for all the biggest crunch time. You are looking live. In your life have you seen anything like that? Goodbye! Hello, Haskins.
It's obviously crunch time.
Hammer, nail, coffin, this baby is over.
The double steak grilled cheese burrito, so good. Double the steak with nacho cheese sauce, seasoned rice, red strips, sour cream, and the 3-cheese blend wrapped inside a warm flour tortilla, with even more 3-cheese blend grilled on the top. The double steak grilled cheese burrito, it hits the spot now at Taco Bell. And at Taco Bell, when they say they are feeding people's lives with unexpected good, they mean it. Bowl food you can't get anywhere else.
Well, Brett, what I learned today, Victor Wembanyama has obviously turned heads this year and has been a headline rookie to start his career in the NBA. We all kind of knew that he would be can't miss. The build-up for the draft, and then once he got drafted, we thought maybe it would take some time to get acclimated. It did not take any time at all. He did not miss a beat. And today, he made NBA history. The all-defensive teams were announced earlier this afternoon. Victor Wembanyama became the first rookie in league history to be named to the all-defensive first team. He also joined Rudy Gobert, Bam Adebayo, Herb Jones, and Anthony Davis on that list. So definitely a great first year for Victor Wembanyama.
That's a lot of bigs.
Sure.
The shortest player would be Herb Jones.
Herb Jones, certainly, yeah.
He's 6'7", 6'8".
Yeah.
What I learned, the Cardinals are playing a little better. Not a lot better, a little better. What a difference a little bit of hitting will do.
Yeah.
Now get Paul Schmidt going. He's up there just kind of flailing away. And the Cardinals could keep it close. Don't look now, but the Cardinals are only 2 back in the all-important loss column for the last National League wild card.
Oh.
Loss column is everything. You can make up wins. You cannot make up losses.
Brett, don't look now. The Brewers aren't playing as well as they did to start the season. I'm just saying. You never know with Cardinals.
When I hear people say you're 2.5 back or they're 4.5 back, they're going to make up that half game. The loss column is everything.
Sure. No, absolutely. Absolutely. What I could have done without it's got to be this lawsuit that Jaden Rashada is filing against Florida. I mean, first off, just something we've never seen before. A college athlete suing another school, a head coach. I think you're right, Brett. A booster. I mean, it is incredible. On NIL, I mean, we knew that everything was going to change with NIL, but the simple agreement of, hey, you come to our school, we'll give you this, that, and then when they don't meet it on that, then you think that you can file a lawsuit? I mean, it just seems crazy. You're right. I think he's going to win it.
When do we see players traded?
Oh, jeez. Well, I mean, Brett, you could say you basically have it with the transfer portal right now, but I know what you're talking about. I don't know, Brett.
When do we have a lockout?
I think a lockout's a lot sooner than we have trading, but
I think we'll get down to about 40 or 50 teams before we get down to that terminology. But it's coming fast.
Sure.
I could have done without this. I love that some are saying that Scotty Scheffler got preferential treatment. He was arrested. He was handcuffed, had a mugshot, put in an orange jumpsuit, had to be bonded out. And can you imagine, Brian, if you were on a big guy golf weekend that a lot of us have been on, you go off to a major and you play in the morning, you gallery in the afternoon or vice versa, go out, a lot of carousing, a lot of drinking, and there's always somebody that gets in trouble on one of those trips.
Of course.
Can you imagine if you were sitting in the jug Friday morning, big golf fan, me, but once upon a time, and in walks the 2-time Masters champion.
Look over and Scotty Scheffler sitting next to you.
Doesn't drink anything heavier than ginger ale.
Crazy.
You got to be kidding me.
I mean, unbelievable. I mean, good Lord. Certainly a wild story for Scotty Scheffler. Where are you beaming over tonight? Not over the weekend, tonight.
Back to Busch Stadium, but I'm just beaming there. I'm not really going this time. Man. Cardinals going for the series win over Baltimore. Can get it tomorrow if they don't get it tonight. The Orioles going for back-to-back American League East titles for the first time in 50 years, 73-74, the last time the O's went back-to-back in the East.
Wow. Yeah, that's crazy. Beam me to the first game of the Eastern Conference Finals tonight. Pacers and Celtics. Celtics got plenty of rest after their last series, making it look easy. Pacers, on the other hand, just coming off a Game 7 on Sunday, so a quick turnaround for them. 10.5-point favorites the Celtics are. We'll see if they can cover that. That's big for an Eastern Conference Final.
And they always let one get away from them on the parquet. Can Indiana shock Boston? We'll be watching that. All they want is a split in Beantown and then get back home to where they haven't lost since March 18th. Boston, 17-12 all-time versus Indiana in the playoffs.
Wow.
They've never met outside of the first round. Also, we'll watch Mariners and Yankees tonight, Braves at Wrigley. And Rafael Devers going for 7 straight games with a home run. I saw 3 of them.
You sure did. You got to see most of them. How about that?
They were parked.
Oh, yeah. No, he is a special player. But you're right, some really good games in Major League Baseball tonight. Obviously, the conference tournament's going on. We'll be keeping our eyes on Hoover. Again, we'll have complete coverage of the Ole Miss-Mississippi State game tonight. Right now, set for an 8 p.m. start.
Egg Bowl on the diamond.
Egg Bowl on the diamond. It's legendary.
What time's the last out made tonight?
Oh, geez.
When Connor signs off, what time?
I don't know.
It could be tomorrow.
It really could be. Because, 8 o'clock is wishful thinking.
Very.
But 7:30 we'll have the pregame, and then whenever they start the game, we'll be there for
Something's
it, I guess.
going extra innings.
Absolutely. But it should be a good night. Baseball, basketball, a little bit of everything. So enjoy your night. That's all the time we have. We'll talk to you again tomorrow afternoon.